What is going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here, back again with another live. Oh, sorry about that. Another live watch along for you guys. Spurs take on Fulham at Craven Cottage. It's a very, very big Premier League game as Spurs bid to seal that top four place and put pressure on Aston Villa, who go away to West Ham tomorrow. Joining me today for the live watch along, I've got Barnaby Slater. You're probably used to his face by now on the watch alongs from the Spurred On podcast. Are you looking forward to today, Barnaby?
I am, with a little bit of trepidation. I think it's going to be, we talked about it a little before we came on air. I do feel because of that 4-0 win that actually we should be high on confidence. I think we can go to Craven Cottage and control the game and beat Fulham. But also, it's that elongated feeling of being a Spurs fan. I'm just being like, it would be so good if we got this win. What is going to get in our way?
And obviously, after last week's great victory against Aston Villa, a victory which, especially by the amount we won, no one was really expecting. And it's very important to build on that momentum because everyone's kind of been waiting, especially in the second half of the season. When are these performances from the first 10 games going to return? We obviously look like an indication maybe against Villa. We are starting to get back to that form, but it won't mean anything if we don't go and win today.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it'll be fascinating to see whether Fulham come at us and try and play and therefore allow us to have the space in midfield that we had against Aston Villa, or whether they'll do what has worked so well for Crystal Palace and Brentford in recent weeks in stifling us by playing that kind of flat back five or flat back four with a block of 4 or 5 in front of them. I have a feeling, based on, I watched some of the highlights from the first game at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, which we won 2-0, and obviously the League Cup game as well. I've got a feeling that we'll have room to play today if we want to. And if we do, then I think we'll score goals. And it'll come down to, I think, how many goals we keep out, if we can keep a clean sheet, how Radu Dragusin plays, and obviously then also hopefully nothing mad happens, like no red cards, no injuries, etc. But I've gone for a prediction this week of 2-2. That's because I predicted that for the last 2 games and we've won them both.
So keep predicting 2-2, Barnaby. Exactly. I'm sure we'll keep getting the results we need. All right, let's look at the lineup that we've gone for today. Obviously, it's been announced. No real surprises. We've got Vicario in goal, Porro, Romero, Dragusin and Udogi along the back line, Basuma Sarr and Maddison in midfield, with Kulusevski, Brennan Johnson supporting, Heung-min Son on the bench. You can see Brandon Austin, Emerson Royale, Ben Davis, Pierre Højbjerg, Oli Skip, Rodrigo Bentancur, Giovanni Lo Celso, Timo Werner and Richarlison. So a very strong bench there. The only change from the Aston Villa game is obviously Radu Dragusin coming in for Mickey van de Ven. Obviously, Van de Ven's such a big part of our defence, isn't he? That ability to, when we're pressing high and playing that high line in the halfway line, his recovery pace is absolutely vital. So having Dragusin in the back line today, maybe we're going to have to make some adjustments, but what kind of difference do you think that's going to make, having him in the back line instead of Van de Ven? It
will be interesting, actually, because one of the things that Fulham really like to do is, with Harry Wilson in midfield, or any of their midfielders, Palhinha, they like to then get it over the top into the channels and turn the back four of whoever they're playing round. So obviously, Van de Ven suits that no end. We've seen it time and time again. The ball gets played kind of 10 yards behind him and you think their striker is in on goal, but actually he just puts the burners on and gets back. Dragusin's not slow by any means, but like you said, we might have to make some tiny changes, maybe be a step or two not quite as deep. But Romero has the experience and the leadership to know what to do, and I think he'll be pushing Dragusin along. And I actually think it will hopefully prove to be an example of how it's been good that Dragusin has had a number of months now to get used to the style of play, get used to the system before being thrown straight in with a start. And I'm confident that he'll do well. I mean, let's put it this way. The options previously would have been Davinson Sanchez, Eric Dyer or Ben Davis. Now, Ben Davis would have offered us, I think, a bit more balance in terms of getting the ball out to the left-hand side and out to Brennan Johnson when we've got it. But in terms of the knowledge of centre-back as a position and also defensive and attacking set pieces, I think we all definitely feel a lot more comfortable that Dragusin is coming in rather than Ben. And also in terms of, I think I wasn't anti-Eric Dyer or Davinson Sanchez as men and as players, but obviously the fans in general, quite a lot of fans weren't up for them anymore. And they were good examples, I think, of where Big Ange just said a lot. Change needed to happen, and if you don't make changes, if you do the same thing time and time again, nothing will change. So they needed to leave and have done, and I think we're better as a result.
Yeah, and obviously Dragusin came on, just after half time in the last game, and I was really impressed with just how calm and composed he looked, and he really fitted in very well. Obviously, Villa did go down to 10 men within, I would say, 10, 15 minutes of him entering the pitch. So maybe you can't make too many judgments on his performance. But I have to say, when he was on the pitch, he did slot in as if, it didn't seem like a big deal that he was slotting into the back line, and as if it was a pressure moment for him. He seemed very calm for such a young guy, 21 years of age. I was very impressed with his composure. And seeing him last week, could you take much away from his performance, or was it just a case of, things fell into place that he didn't have to do too much after he came on?
I think a little bit of both, actually. I thought he played a lot more kind of brave, forward-thinking balls between the lines than I was expecting him to. But also, there were only kind of one or two occasions where he was really tested. One of those was when Vicario kind of pinged a ball at him knee height that he had to control and struggled with. Diaby then nicked in front of him and got to the byline. And I'm pretty sure it was actually that passage of play that then led to Vicario kind of diving at the feet of the striker. And then actually that's where Destiny Udogie broke from and where the red card came from. So, interesting passage of play and all. But no, I thought in all, Dragusin looked pretty comfortable. He's an athletic guy. He's a big guy. And look, I don't think we can expect miracles. And I think in classic Tottenham fandom style, if he struggles today or has a bad moment or whatever, we can't get on his back. It's his first Premier League game. The Premier League is quicker. And this will be his first time playing, from the start with 11 men coming up against him. But I like the look of him. And more importantly, if Ange likes the look of him, I really like the look of him, because I think Ange's kind of talent spotting so far and his ability to make sure that they're the right kind of attitude and personality of player to come in. I've been very impressed with that so far.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that performance last week would have done him the world of good going into his first start this week. Let's take a look at the Fulham lineup that they've got. They're 11. So they got Leno in goal, Castagna, Adarabioyo, Calvin Bassey and Anthony Robinson along the back line. They got Sasa Lukic, João Palhinha and Andreas Pereira in midfield, with Willian, Iwobi and the informed Muniz in the front line. Obviously, he's one of the form strikers in the league at the moment. I believe it's 5 goals in his last 6 games. Very, very physical striker as well. In a weird way, could having Dragusin in for this kind of game, could it be a benefit, seeing as maybe I love Van de Ven, don't get me wrong, but maybe Dragusin's are that bit more physical up against someone like Muniz, and that kind of physical battle, especially in the penalty area when they're swinging crosses in, maybe Dragusin could be like a good someone to combat that.
Yeah, absolutely. Having watched a bit of their clips this week, they do like to play football and they do like to turn defences, but also they're not afraid to go from back to front quite direct up to Rodrigo Muniz's body. Actually, I've just seen that Wilson's not playing, is he? He's one of the players I picked out in my match.
Yeah, he's on the bench.
He's a really good string puller. So I'm kind of surprised he's not playing. But you mentioned crosses. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all if they're trying to get a lot of crosses in, because if they've seen what we've seen this season, Spurs are not great at stopping the cross at the source. And Dragusin I think looks good in the air, so that should help. But we've been pretty poor, I'd say, at stopping the crosses at source. So we've got to be better at that and stop that from happening. I'd say a lot of I really like Robinson at left back, and obviously Porro leaves a lot of room in behind him. So potentially Robinson and Willian and Iwobi, depending on who's playing on which side, could look to make the most out of that space in behind Porro. But I'm pretty sure Ange will be saying to them in the change room, let's not worry about any of that. Let's get control of the game, take it by the scruff of the neck. And of course, every team we play will have chances on the transition. That's just the way we play. But if we make more chances, we've got the talent to score a lot of goals today. Well,
looking at Fulham, they've had a real upturn in form recently, especially in the second part of the season. I don't think it's any coincidence since Tosin's come back in the side. They've been much better defensively and they've been much more competitive. And if they've taken them from maybe near a relegation battle, looked like at one point mid-table safety, beating Brighton very recently 3-0, very convincingly at Craven Cottage. Also went to Old Trafford. They won 2-1 in what was a really good performance on the day. I remember watching them play against Aston Villa. They ended up losing 2-1 on the day, but they could have easily taken a point in that game. So what kind of Fulham side are you expecting this game? Are you expecting a really kind of tough display, a tough team to face at Craven Cottage, because they're in good form at the moment?
Yeah, and they turned Arsenal over at Craven Cottage as well. Yep. Shouldn't be forgotten. So I think it will be a difficult game. London derby, that's always gives a crackle to the atmosphere. And also, it's the kind of club, and I rate Marco Silva as well, but the kind of club who look to get these kind of big scalps. And they'll be looking at how Tottenham have played recently. They'll obviously beat us at home in the League Cup earlier in the season, where both teams kind of played weakened sides. And we did have Davinson Sanchez at the back that game, and he looked less than comfortable on the ball. So we should theoretically be a lot more comfortable than we were that night. But yeah, look, it's going to be difficult. And as with a lot of these Premier League games, I think the first goal will be important, but we do also know, just to contradict myself straight away, that Spurs often go 1-0 behind and can come back. So let's see what happens. I think there'll be a nice pace to it, a nice tempo to it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm quietly confident, but let's stick with that 2-2 prediction for now and just see if we can make the most of it.
Yeah, I remember I was watching the highlights back of the game back at the Tottenham Stadium earlier in the season. We beat them 2-0, obviously. Despite the scoreline and obviously we got 2 nice goals, it wasn't the easiest game, if I remember rightly. Fulham did give us a bit of trouble, and I remember how we got our goals was Calvin Bassey was playing right centre-back, and we did something very clever, which was basically force him onto his weak foot because he's a left-footed centre-back playing on the right, and it forced him to play some basically misplaced passes, and we took advantage of that. That's how we got our goals. Now with Tosin partnering Bassey, both on their natural sides now, it's going to be a lot more difficult maybe to force those kind of mistakes than it was back early in the season.
Yeah, to be honest, after that performance from Bassey against Spurs, I was surprised that he carried on playing, but he kind of found his way into form. He's had a couple of big moves in his career as well, so obviously pretty highly rated. The thing about that game really at home was we were incredibly clinical. They had a great chance from a set piece that Vicario made an absolute worldie of a save to, and then Sonny just sticks one in the top corner, and Madders scored the second goal with some good pressing play, as you said, of Bassey on his wrong side, and then picked up and Sonny set in Maddison. So look, if it comes to a fight between who can be more clinical, I would bet on Spurs today. But like I said, it'll be just interesting mainly to see how Fulham set up. Will they come at us? Will they give us some space? And if so, I think it'll be an enjoyable game. It's as I've been saying most of the season, it's just fun to see Spurs on the front foot all the time now and aggressively attacking other teams, and that's the way our manager loves it, so I love it too.
All right, well, the teams are out of the tunnel for the game today. They're lining up, and they're just showing the lineups at the moment on Sky Sports, so we're moments away from kickoff. I want to know in the comment section below, everyone get your predictions in. I want to know what your thoughts are on the game. I want to read some comments out before kickoff, so get commenting, people.
I've just seen a good comment from Drew. Don't let Barnaby ruin the celebration like every other watch on. Because VAR, I can't even celebrate now because I'm just, you just don't know, do you? So I'm sorry, Drew, but I'm sorry it's a mood killer. He's just said that as well.
I'll celebrate. Don't worry, guys. I'll celebrate. My prediction was 2-1 Spurs. I really think it's not going to be an easy game, especially when I'm looking at Fulham's midfield. I just look at João Paulinho. I believe he's one of the best defensive midfielders in the league. I'm a big fan of his, and if he's on top of his game, they're always very, very difficult to play against. So I do expect a difficult game. I expect a bit of a tight game, but I do think if we can create a few chances, I mean, the clinical edge we showed, Aston Villa showed, we got the quality in the forward line just to make those chances count. And I'm banking on the fact we're going to be full of confidence after that game at Villa Park, and we're going to take that into this game and end up scraping a win. I don't think it's going to be easy. I've seen Fulham recently, and they're giving everyone a game at the moment. Yeah. No one's really blowing them away. They're not easy to play against. So I'm not expecting Tottenham to win this 3 or 4-0, but I just do think, given the confidence boost we would have gotten from Villa Park and the quality we have in the team, I'm just going for Spurs to scrape this 2-1. But what are you guys' thoughts? Moments away from kickoff now. I want to know what you're thinking in the comment section.
Jake Backers has sent a super chat saying, big up, guys, 3-1 Spurs, Coy. So I'd take some of that. Ideally, with us being 3-0 up from the first 5 minutes. I'd like that. That'd be good.
Yeah, that'll be absolutely fantastic. Big up to Amir. He said, absolutely loved Ange's comment on overseas fans. What a legend of a man we have at the helm. In Big Ange we trust. We'll get into those comments once kickoff has happened. We are moments away. They're just lining up at the moment. Spurs in their away strip today, that dark blue strip that we played in. Yeah, I do like it. I think it's
got reflective badges.
There we've got the team huddle at the moment. Looks like
some rumours out again this week that we're going to be getting one of those Air Jordan kits coming forward.
Apparently we're going to play in it in the Champions League next season. That's what they're hoping for.
I'd like some of that.
Yeah, why not? The concept kits look very, very nice for the Jordan. Oh, yeah. All right, Spurs. I think Spurs kicking off here. It looks like just coming out of the huddle now.
Do you know about the Fulham new stand? I don't know. They weren't allowed to actually use it because they hadn't built enough. It was either that they hadn't built enough toilets for it, or they hadn't built enough of the kind of what are known as the vomitories, the bit where the stands come out, the fans come out of the stand. Sorry.
I haven't heard about that, to be honest.
there you
But look, we have kicked off here at Craven Cottage. Spurs kicking off from right to left in this first half. And obviously Kulusevski has kicked off and we're underway. Spurs in possession here, looking to make a fast start, but they've played it backwards. Dragoshin gets an early touch of the ball.
Oh, gives it to Vicaria's wrong side, but he deals with it pretty easily. What do you think of Johnson on the left? I thought he impressed me a lot last week. The best he's played on the left so far this season, for sure.
Yeah, that's one of the... Oh, we've given it away, have we? No, Basuma mops it up. Yeah, that was one of the things that's been a bit of a narrative this season. You know, Johnson's played on the left in the early in his Spurs career. Majority of the time he was on the left and didn't really pull up any trees in that position. Then he had some good performances on the right. I remember against Newcastle, he was brilliant in that game. Yeah. And then the narrative started forming, you know, he has to play on the right. That's where his best position is. But I agree with you. I have to say, him on the left against Aston Villa, he had showed a new sense of confidence.
Yeah, he was more confident, for sure.
Yeah, and he was willing to take people on a lot more, really run at Matt Cash, and obviously he did get his goal as well. And maybe as a consequence of that good recent run he's been on, and that maybe we've seen the confidence start to flow in with him.
And the fact that he got a little bit of a rest as well, I think.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm confident, hopefully. Look, Ange just seemed to want to play on the left more often than not, to be honest. So maybe that's where Ange sees his future. So it's really interesting to see where he's going to be playing from now on in. But he looks really good on the left, and maybe that can start to shape the narrative that he can only really play on the right. But Maddison with a loose ball here, and Fulham in a transition. They got Willian over. They got Muniz in on goal. Muniz, oh, shot block. What a block for Romero and Pereira. Oh, my word. And blocked away from, I think, Dragoshin, and it's going to be a corner. But really big opening there for Fulham. Muniz will be really disappointed he didn't do more with that.
Maddison has tried to play a very odd ball with the outside of his foot in the central midfield, and as ever, we are caught in behind. And actually,
what a block that is from Romero.
Great block from Romero.
Yeah, and Dragoshin, both centre backs making good blocks there. Oh my word, that's a whisker wide as well.
Yeah, just
really nervy
and
start
now
there.
A corner, Pereira taking it out swinger.
Oh, it's in on...
Great clearance from Dragoshin. That's what I'm looking for him a lot this season. I've saw a lot of clips from him when he was in Italy. Loves to get his first ball on set pieces, and he did so there with a lovely long-headed clearance. One thing I've spotted in the first few minutes of the game, just before that chance we gave away, and that I've noticed in the last few weeks as well, Son kind of almost Harry Kane-esque, happy to come to the halfway line and pick the ball up and kind of make their centre-halves wonder about whether to come with him or not. And when he does that, he actually seems really comfortable on the ball, whereas sometimes when it comes into his feet around, let's say, 25, 30 yards out at pace, he sometimes gives it away a bit more. So that's something that I've seen evolve in the last few games.
That's definitely something I've seen evolve in terms of his general play. That was something I was quite critical of with Son, and is why I thought he would never really be a complete number 9 as opposed to maybe someone who could do a job in that role. But this season, I think you only have to look at his assist numbers and his ability to bring other players into play. Oh, great pressing from Kulusevski, but he's given away to Paulinho. As I was saying about Son, I think that's something that's gone under the radar for a lot of fans in terms of his overall ability, in terms of bringing other players into play and getting more assists. And maybe him being captain, he's brought that responsibility on himself to be more of a team player. But that's something that's definitely improved in his game this season. And that's why I'm seeing him become more of a complete number 9 now.
Dragoshin just had a chance to get the ball out wide to Brennan Johnson, but he kicked it straight off the pitch, which obviously... wasn't ideal, but it happens. A few nerves early on, but Fulham just starting this with a bit of tempo here. They got it out wide to Willian on the left.
And Robertson overlapping, goes for the cross. Iwobi gets a touch in the box, but Sarr mops up and clears. And out wide to Kulusevski is just overhit. And Bassi takes it out wide. Quick super chat here from Christian Soto. Says, love the show. Much love from Arizona, USA. Big up to you, Christian. Big up from Arizona. Tottenham under the cosh at the moment. Well, I wouldn't say under the cosh, but definitely Fulham starting brightly here at Craven Cottage. Definitely looking very confident. Iwobi. He's on the right-hand side here, Iwobi. Usually does play on the left, but they've started him on the right here in this game. Oh, it's a good ball into the box, and Pereira's in the box, and his ball is terrible. I don't know what he's trying
to shoot from an acute angle there when he should have just got the ball across the front. Kind of classically in that, what I'd call a Brennan Johnson position. He's made a lovely little run there. And Iwobi's found him. He's miles onside, and he's just got to get that. Either cut that back or get it across the front. And in the end, he tries to hit it in the top corner.
It's way too easy, though, isn't it? And they found it easy for that Muniz chance as well. And we've given it away again. Fulham starting very aggressively, not letting us play our football at the moment.
Yeah, we're going to have to deal with that. That's just the way it's going to be. But it was a little bit of a lazy ball from Pat Matasar there, but Anthony Robinson couldn't make the most of it, and it's a throw in to Spurs.
Michael Shawcross has a nickname for you. He's called you Barnaby. Don't pass to him. Oh, it's a goal, Slater.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, I'll absolutely take it. I'm well known for not having a clue what's going on. Come on, don't let Iwobi play like this. Come on, boys.
Here's Willian on the left-hand side. Fulham definitely starting on the front foot here. He's got a cross into the box, but over Muniz' head and Udogie can clear, but Castagna keeps the attack alive. Sarr's sloppily giving it away again, and Fulham back on the ball here. Tosin out wide to Castagna. Inside to Lukic, Sasa Lukic to Tosin with a really good a switch to Robinson.
They're getting a lot of time on the ball here, Fulham. They're playing well. We've got to just dig in here before we can get hold of the ball again.
Paulini with a really nice ball over the top, and here's Muniz. Tries to turn on Dragoshin, but lovely play from Dragoshin, and he keeps it in and gives it to Porro as well, and we win a goal kick. Lovely play from him. He's had a really positive start to the game so far.
It's just a really interesting little reverse ball from Paulini there. Yeah, Dragoshin sees what's going and then
does really well to get in front of him here and also get the back heel to Porro as well. Very well done from Dragoshin.
Okay.
Seems desperate to impress.
Yeah, so goal kick now. We just got to try and get a grip on the game a little bit here.
We haven't really got going yet.
Very high, which isn't a surprise. But
giving it away again.
He's just second to a few balls.
They're definitely playing proactively here for them. They're not waiting for us. They're going for us.
It's one of those ones where we're going to have to see out this first 15 minutes and hope that they drop off a little bit.
Kieran Gillespie says 4:30 a.m. from Melbourne, Australia. Wow, that is an early wake up.
Lovely stuff from Son, picking up the throw in there and gets it out to Udogie, who finds Brennan Johnson.
Brennan's on the left-hand side into Maddison. Nice back to Johnson, and we win a corner.
Good stuff. Now, could this be an opportunity for Dragoshin to attack the ball? We've not been great from attacking set pieces this season. We haven't scored that many from corners, especially considering how... Actually, do you know what? Our numbers are better than the kind of eyesight test. But last season, obviously, when we had VO, we were lethal from corners. Whereas the beginning of this season, we were playing a lot more short corners. Be interesting to see what happens here.
Well, only City have conceded fewer set-piece goals on Fulham this season, so it's not going to be easy to score. No. All right, who's taking it? Porro? Yeah, Porro does take it short to Maddison on the edge of the box. He has a little bit of space, but it's closed down quickly. Goes to the back post of Dragoshin. It's going to fall to Kulusevski. And he cuts inside brilliantly, but kind of overruns it. I nearly did well there. And unfortunately, it's going to go out for a goal kick.
Palini's gone down there, but I think he's going to be okay.
Going to be all right. But go on.
So I was just going to say, it looked like Kulusevski had a chance to get to the byline there, but actually was crowded out by both Bassi and Palini.
Steps on Palini a bit there. Yeah. Accidental, it looks like.
Yeah, there's nothing in that. What did you make of Kulusevski's Players Tribune interview? And
I have to say, that was a brilliant, fascinating interview. I thought he was very, very honest, more open than a lot of players you find in these kind of interviews these days. But I just loved what he was saying about that's a foul on it was on Sonny.
Is it
by Robinson? No, by Romero. Romero on the right wing. Yes. Got a free kick.
So they had a goal kick. They're trying to play it out through the press, and Romero kind of predicts what's going to happen and takes it past Robinson, who clips him down for a free kick out wide. Chance to get a cross in.
Giving Fulham a taste of their own medicine there with a high press.
Yeah, that's right. It's going to be a little bit of a press off, which is exactly what I was expecting at Villa Park last week. But actually, Villa really sat off us, and Fulham are determined not to do the same.
All right, free kick here, and it is going to be Porro to take it on the right-hand side.
I'm pleased that we're getting this in the box, to be honest, because sometimes we played these short quickly, and I feel like we've got some options here now.
All right, both centre-backs are in the area there. You've got Udogie hanging around the edge of the area. Maybe this will be aimed towards Dragoshin, who is a big unit in that box there. It's Porro into the near post, and it's flicked, and it's fallen to Sarr, is it? Dragoshin can't get the shot off, and the referee's put his flag up, the linesman, and it's going to be a free kick to Fulham. Yeah, in terms of Kulusevski's Players' Tribune, yeah, I loved absolutely everything he had to say, especially about the family feel there is around the club. Well, I loved how he was talking about the 4-1 loss to Chelsea and how that was my big takeaway in that, and how the players and the squad really appreciated how the fans didn't boo them after that game, and they really took notice about how the fans were applauding them after a big loss like that, and how that was a big moment for the squad to kind of believe in what Andrew was doing, and how they realised that the fans don't just only look at results and can really see what's happening on the pitch and appreciate that. So I thought that was really, really nice. And obviously his kind of character, I absolutely love his mentality. He's such he's got such a good head on his shoulders, I feel. And I feel we've really got a good one there in Kulusevski. I did love that interview.
I just scoffed there because while you were talking, hold on one second.
Oh, Lukic has one off Basuma, and Iwobi's free on the right-hand side. He's got Muniz in the box. He goes for Muniz. It's fallen to Pereira. Brilliant block by Romero. Oh, my word. That was another really good chance for Fulham. Vicario kind of gets a hand to Iwobi's cross. It falls to Pereira, but Romero again with another brilliant block. But Robinson's in behind yet again and into the box. Brilliant block by Romero, and Maddison can flick it away. Fulham are getting all sorts of joy down the sides at the moment.
Yeah, they're in again.
Here's Iwobi in again. Lukic, great save from Vicario. And Basuma gets it out for a corner. They are just finding it way too easy to get into our penalty area at the moment.
Yeah, there's spaces down the sides every single time. Iwobi and Willian getting loads of time. Iwobi just played a beautiful ball across.
Brilliant.
Then the kind of handout from Vicario, beautiful block from Romero suddenly, and then just so easy to come in down the sides again straight away. Anthony finds...
Who's tracking these
Paulina,
players?
Yeah, no one's coming back with them. It's just a lot of space down there. It's
way too
smart
easy.
Football from Fulham, to be honest. And in the end, Basuma gets it out.
I have to say, Romero, similar to Dragoshin, has had a brilliant start to this game. He's had to maybe too much more work than he should have.
Oh, yeah.
But he's made some brilliant blocks so far, and obviously Vicario has been quite busy as well now. Pereira with a corner outswinger, headed away again by Dragoshin.
Out to Willian. It's going to be a chance to get a cross in here again.
Come on, get close to him. Get close to him. Pereira, is that a foul? No foul. For goal kick to Spurs.
Yeah, I mean, as ever in these Premier League games, of course, when a team is on the ascendancy like this, they have to score that goal. So Tottenham need to just hang in there where they can, because it can quite quickly change. A transition can happen and they can regret not scoring. But at the moment, Fulham very much on top.
Yeah, it's not been a good start defensively from Spurs. Fulham will be annoyed they haven't scored yet, I would say. And Porro's ball there, wasteful, straight back to Bern Leno. Haven't really got a possession game going just yet. All the joy that we have had have been kind of from high regains.
Yeah.
And in possession, we haven't really been able to keep possession yet, to be honest.
No, kind of Sarr has been a little bit non-existent in this game, kind of not really showing for the back four when they've got the ball. But yeah, at the moment, Fulham are just playing well. And they're at home, so they're going to be on the front foot.
Don't think Andrew will be happy with how easy they're finding it to get into our box. But a loose pass from Tosin, and his Son, and his layoff is just off it. And Bassi can pick it up, and here's Pereira, and it's another transition for Fulham. Pereira out wide to Willian, and he's got Robinson again on the overlap. He finds him. Porro's over to him, though, but he does get the ball in, and Vicario... the flag's up for offside anyway.
I thought Porro did pretty well there, to be honest. He waited, he went with the right man, and even though the cross came in, it was pretty close to Vicario due to Porro's body shape. But yeah, just getting in down those sides so easily, which of course, as we discussed before the game, is the way to get at Spurs. Well, I think we need Basuma and Sarr to really step up, take the ball, and keep it in midfield.
I was watching their game against... good ball by Porro. And his Sarr in behind.
That's
he goes
beautiful.
past Bassi. It's a good challenge. Just about.
He was nearly in there, Pat Sarr.
It's a foul on Paulina. Is that play on? Referee says play on. When they played Man United at Old Trafford, it's another loose pass. Here's Brennan. Can we make something of it? Play it quickly. Maddison into Kulusevski doesn't play it quickly enough, and they shut the door on that
basketball already.
Good,
this game.
Good ball by Muniz into Iwobi.
He's in
behind to Muniz, and he gets a touch, but Romero comes over brilliantly and gets the ball off Muniz, but he does give it away straight away. Not a good pass there. Does try to kind of keep possession, doesn't play it safe, and gives the ball back to Fulham.
It was interesting to see, though, when Romero, though, where he just waited. They're in again, are they?
Is Castagna into Pereira.
Yeah, he just waited for the right time to choose when to kind of sprint and pick up that ball off
Muniz.
Off Rodrigo, yeah.
Here's Willian with the ball to the back post. Iwobi's in space here. He's in the ball in the box again, but his pass is loose. And Sarr and Maddison lead for each other, but Sarr takes control of it.
Well done,
Here's
Pat. That
Brennan.
was better. Good
Brennan's
stuff from
looking
Pat
for
Matsar
options.
then. Sonny's shown Brennan an option. This is better.
Come on, let's calm it down a bit. Get it back. Let's calm it down. There you go. Come on. Start to take control of this game. What I was going to say is against Man United, when I watched them at Old Trafford, they were absolutely killing them in the transition every single time. They were really, really effective.
And is that because they leave an extra man? Is it? It seems to like Iwobi seems to get a lot of space in the centre midfield when our stuff is breaking down.
Yeah, it's difficult to explain why they're so good in those areas, but they're very direct. They like to play. Pereira does pick the ball up in the centre circle. He does drop into that kind of space. He's very hard to pick up, Pereira, and he does get involved in a lot of those transitions. And they created a number of opportunities in that game. Old Trafford.
Sarr has just played another horrible ball to Basuma, and they're in again. They're in
Pereira,
again.
oh, is that a foul?
Pass.
Referee says no.
But he played a terrible pass. That's why it's not been given as a foul, because the through ball was so bad that he was never going to get onto it anyway. But chance now for Spurs to take advantage.
Oh, Porro thought about that run in behind. Not Porro, sorry, Maddison.
Well done, Decky. I'm glad. Was it Maddison who played that ball? I'm glad he didn't play it first time, because quite a lot what we've done when we're not playing well this season is try and pick the first paradise ball, and it puts us under pressure straight away.
Force it a bit.
Yeah, force it a bit, exactly. And that time he held on to it for another second.
Is that a foul by Dragoshin here? Let's see. Nah, I don't really.
He kind of hits him, if
nothing.
nothing. He kind of runs into the back of him, if anything.
All right, here's Vicari. I can hear the Spurs fans in full voice now. He's trying to get the players going. Here's Sarr. Come on, let's just calm it down a bit. Let's just play our passing game. We haven't really got going on the ball at the moment.
It seems like whenever Sarr or Basuma are on the ball, they've got a man on their back every time.
They definitely seem to be targeting Sarr at the moment. He seems to be giving the ball away a lot.
That might be why Maddison is now dropping a little deeper himself to kind of bring out their kind of, what have they got there? They've got kind of 5 men behind the ball in midfield, not allowing our midfielders to get too much space on the ball, time or space on the ball.
But I've seen it before with Tottenham. Sometimes in these kind of games, they take their time to feel their way into it, and then once we take control, we're hard to stop. But it's a good
I hope you're right.
passage of play there. Maddison brought down, going to be a free kick.
As ever in the Premier League, you've got to earn your right to play the kind of football you want to play, and this has been a difficult first 15 minutes for Spurs, but still 0-0. And that's the most important thing.
And to be fair, the defending, apart from obviously how easy it's been for them to get into the penalty area, Romero, Vicario, and Dragoshin have been absolutely brilliant so far.
Oh, lovely stuff from Brennan Johnson.
Oh, Doggy's in behind. Can he find a pass? It doesn't play early enough. It's kind of been blocked. And a good piece of play there from Brennan. It's out for a throw, is it? Or is it a goal kick?
That was better. Brennan Johnson waited an extra second there, and the defender kind of committed himself to the left. So Johnson had space inside to play a ball in. And it was a nice little passage of play.
Yeah, he's in a rich vein of form at the moment, Brendan. 5 goals and assists in his last 6 games. So really starting to contribute regularly in those goal contribution metrics. Oh, it's another loose ball from Fulham, although it's found its way to Muniz.
Oh, good strength battle there between Muniz and
as much as we've been sloppy in the middle, one sec, ball over top to Iwobi. Basuma's trying to get on the right side of him.
What was Basuma doing there? He shouldn't have let it bounce in the first place, and then ended up pulling Iwobi's hair when they were in the kind of 50-50.
Luckily,
can be a little laissez-faire in those moments.
What was I going to say? Yeah, it's been a bit of a feature of this game where we've been a bit sloppy in the middle, but Fulham have definitely seemed vulnerable when passing out the back so far. They've played a few loose passes in that position.
Here comes the press.
Paulinho pressed by Sarr, but plays it off quick enough. Here's Robinson on the left-hand side.
Good stuff from Spurs.
And more good pressing from Tottenham. Kulusevski goes on the outside now. He's in behind and he tries to cut back.
He's never comfortable on his right foot, and it's such a shame.
There weren't many options, though, in the box there, to be fair to him. He was looking up. He did get an assist on his right foot last week for Sonny.
True, very true. But I wish he'd just whacked that across the box and maybe
could have
even been an own goal or something. You just whack it across the front, see what happens. The keeper has to dive out, maybe taps it into the on-running striker.
Throw into Tottenham, though. But it's a number of times we've pressed them well in those positions and been able to win the ball back. So,
as last week, Kulusevski's very good at kind of guessing which way the player's going to try and go with his pass and cutting it out.
Here's Dragoshin now. In the centre circle, looking for an option. He's given it to Romero. Looks for pass behind. It's a good ball. And here's Son. Gets tackled, but it's fallen to Sarr. His Porro now on the right-hand side. Good ball into Kulusevski, but Paulinho does really well to nip in. But Spurs win it back straight away. Here's Basuma. to Saar. Brilliant football. Kulusevski
terrible touch, unfortunately.
nearly takes it in behind, but Robinson does really well to keep him away from it. But nearly some nice interchange there from Spurs. I think Kulusevski's Son gets in his way a bit, and then the touch is a bit heavy as well. But nearly some really nice play. Dragoshin again up against Muniz, and he again wins it back. He's been really good so far.
As well there,
Dragoshin. There's a Dogi. Oh, he gives it away to Castagna. Now Fulham again on the transition.
That was a great ball from Castagna there.
Pereira poor touch there from Pereira. Kind of stops the momentum of the attack.
It's a good game, backwards. It's a good game for a 0-0. Look, very open.
The Dogi, that's a good tackle. But
do you see what I mean about the Paradise ball?
Yeah,
do you see what I mean?
Forward just too rushed it too much. Super chat here from Nicholas Walker says, we need to buy/train a new game manager in the summer. All our midfielders are technically good, but I feel we need someone to handle the rough times. I guess what he's talking about is someone to control the game with their passing, like Tony Cruz, something like that, I'm guessing. Jorginho and...
that's you talking about Pereira being free on the transition.
Yeah,
he's got the freedom of Craven Cottage there. They've got 5 forward here.
Here's Willian. Yeah, he's good at picking up those spaces, Pereira. Into Lukic, I think that is.
Yeah, the 28.
Here's Willian. Back to Robinson. Tottenham got the numbers back now, but Willian's on the left-hand side. They're trying to pick the lock here, and it's a good ball. But it's fallen over. Lukic.
Lovely
and
from
Tottenham
Romero.
can play their way out of trouble. Here's Porro. Good ball into Maddison. Can he turn?
Maddison hasn't had a lot of time on the ball yet, but he's coming deep over and over to try and get it.
Here's Udogi. Back to Dragoshin. Now Maddison playing in that deep-lying playmaker role he likes to get into. Trying to slow the game down a bit, potentially. Trying to allow the team to get into their set positions. Here's Maddison. Saar now. Just getting into the Fulham half. He's going to play it backwards to Romero.
Romero's looked excellent so far.
Yeah.
On and off the ball, to be honest. But Fulham have got a good shape when out of possession. They feel comfortable.
And they're definitely looking dangerous in transition.
Oh, for sure.
I have to say that. And Brandon tries to take on Iwobi, gives away a throw, though.
Yeah.
Gets tackled. But I don't mind it too much. At least he's going for it a bit.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Agree. It'll make Iwobi think, will he go down the line? Will he cut back in? Castagna was a good signing for Fulham, I think, from Leicester.
Yeah, I've always rated him. Well, he was heavily linked with Spurs at the time, wasn't he?
Yeah.
When he was at Atalanta. Here's Anthony Robinson,
but
again being pressed by Kulu, and Kulu forces a rush pass, and Willian being pressed, and it's a foul on Willian, apparently, according to the referee. Free kick to Fulham.
Is this the Aussie ref?
No, I don't think this is the Aussie ref.
I wonder is the Aussie ref allowed to manage referee?
Well, when
games?
yeah, funny you say that. I wonder if we've seen him in a Spurs game this season.
Must be able to.
Well, Trossard's brother is allowed to referee Trossard.
It's lovely football from Fulham.
It's good football from Fulham. Lukic is in on the right-hand side.
Ball from Fulham, to be honest.
Muniz, they're looking for him, but good covering from Porro, and brilliant pass as well to play Romero into space, and his Son. And now Tottenham in a transition here. Can we create an opportunity? Brennan Johnson's on the left-hand side. He's got Maddison in support. He gives it away.
But that all came from Fulham playing some beautiful Ange ball to beat Spurs' press. And then when they played a bad ball across the box, they had committed numbers forward, and Tottenham managed to Ange ball them back. Got it to around the 18-yard line, but Brennan Johnson just made the wrong decision, unfortunately. But Fulham, set up to play some really good stuff, to be fair. It's a good game.
Yeah, you feel like a goal could be coming out. Saar's giving away.
Time.
Robinson caught Kulusevski on his heels. Here's Robinson now in all space on the left.
Wide.
He's in the box. He goes on the outside of Saar, and he's in behind. And Muniz doesn't get there. Is it a foul? Or Muniz referee says no. And Brennan Johnson can clear down the line. And it's actually a good ball for Maddison. He can't get there ahead of Rabayo, sorry. But it's fallen to Basuma. And now Tottenham in transition. Son, he's got Kulusevski on his right. He's got Maddison on the left. Play it. Maddison's in the box now.
Cut it back to Sonny.
Into
Chance.
Son! He side-footed just over the bar. Really good opportunity for someone like Sonny with his finishing ability. But this is a really, really open game of football here.
Totally shocked Sonny didn't score there, to be honest. It was...
Well, it would have been a great finish. Nearly finds top bins there. Lovely play for Maddison. Good way of passes. Waits for Sonny. Oh, it's a decent effort.
It's a great effort, but I don't know. With Sonny, you just kind of expect it. I guess
over the bar.
It's probably
but just following that, it was a great piece of play for Robinson there. Gets to the byline. Past Sarr there. And a good ball. And Muniz tries to flick it with a back heel. Doesn't really get there.
Should score. Sarr's made two. I would argue Sarr's made two little errors in that passage of play there.
Gives it away
he's
and
just being
gets beaten.
He's just being a bit. Tell you what, Spurs won the ball.
But here's
high up again.
Kulusevski now. On the right-hand side, he's got Porro in support. He's looking for a ball in the box. His pass is given away, and Williams now on the counter. And Fulham have numbers here. They've got Muniz. They've got Pereira on the left-hand side. He's got Iwobi on the right-hand side. Iwobi pulls back for Willian's shot, and a good save by Vicario.
What a game this is.
This is really, really
if
open.
You're a neutral, you're loving this.
As you say, it's literally a chance at both ends. It's really like a basketball game in the moment. So open.
It's a save you'd expect Vicario to make, but there was a lot of time for Willian
It's
there.
a bit strange. Like when we're pressing them, one step Basuma forward into Son is given away. When we're pressing them, we look really, really sharp. Yet in our defensive third, when we're passing around, we look really sluggish. It's like very strange how it changes the dynamic.
Yeah,
where
both teams are far better at pressing than they are at being pressed. That's the reality of it.
Dragic again wins the header, but it's fallen to
and he's in again.
Lukic, and here's Iwobi. Into Pereira.
Come on, Sarr, you got to work
35
there.
yards from goal, goes for goal. It's well wide. Let him shoot from there.
I love Pat Matasar, I do. He just seems a little bit off it today, that's all.
Yeah.
And we've got Bentancur on the bench, of course, so, you never know for half-time.
It's a weird one because Ange has mentioned in recent weeks he's had this persistent back issue, which he said that has troubled him in training and it's made him seem a bit restricted, in his movement and stuff. Although he's, doesn't stop him from training and playing. But I wonder if that's what we're seeing today. Maybe a bit of a, I don't know. He just looks doesn't look himself at the moment, Sarr. But look, I don't think he would start him if he didn't feel like he was 100% fit to play.
Spurs trying to play it out. Kulusevski being fouled there.
Yeah, by Robinson, but he turns him, does really well to find Porro, and he tries to find the return pass, but can't quite find him. He'll win the throw, though.
Brave stuff from Spurs out on the right. Kulusevski did well, and Sarr played a decent pass there as well. 26 minutes gone. Fascinating 0-0 at the moment.
It's a weird one on Kulusevski at the moment. I feel like they're struggling to get the ball off him, but when he gets away, he's not making the most of those opportunities when he gets free of his man. But I do feel like he's getting a lot of joy when they're trying to win the ball off him. Here's Son.
No, that's a
plays
foul.
the ball into Sarr.
Tell you
Here's
what,
Maddison.
chance.
He's got Johnson on his left. Here's Johnson. Oh, it's a weak effort.
He had so much time that actually I would have been tempted to take another touch there, but he's confident, so he's tried to hit it first time. I think he's taken a bit off it because he doesn't want to hit it over the bar, but actually he just needs to side foot it hard. Yeah. Maybe he did the right thing hitting it first.
Did Maddison put slightly too much on it? No, I think it's a good pass. But he's kind of leaning a bit over. Yeah, dragged it a bit. Yeah. Could have been a more perfectly placed pass to allow Johnson to say that first time, potentially.
Both teams making a lot of chances now.
I think if you're Spurs, you'll like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it just means that Fulham are also committing and leaving those spaces, and you're going to back yourself to finish those opportunities. Yeah. You'd rather that than Fulham just sitting there in the deep.
Completely agree.
And Sarr, can he pinch off? Paulini
can he not back he did brilliantly there, Pat Matasar. That was Sarr at his absolute best, pressing the players so well. And then, can you just see here, once he does it, can he back heel it? Watch this. A little back heel there.
Yeah, he tries to square it as opposed... I think he's mentioning that maybe to Maddison. Play it back, he's saying.
Yeah.
I think you're absolutely right there. It's another corner to Tottenham, though. Here is Maddison, I think, going to take the outswinger.
Yeah. Dragusin around the penalty spot. He likes to take up a deep position first to run onto it.
Into the near post, looking for Romero. Paulinho heads it away. Here's Porro now. He's got time and space.
Needs help.
And he's going to play it backwards. Doesn't find any opportunity to pass it. Doggy now.
End up going all the way back.
Out wide, back to Porro. Looks for Maddison. And Maddison looks... Oh, he tries to flick. I think gets it wrong, but it falls in his favour. And he's looking for Johnson. Bassi get it away. Johnson's out down. He's going for the Dragusin! Oh, he drags his shot. Pardon the pun.
I'll tell you what, that was a headed through ball from James Maddison using the zip off the pitch to get it through to Dragusin. And in the end, it comes to his left foot.
Johnson is still down there. I wonder what happened there.
I wonder if that's a twisted ankle.
Yeah, he kind of got a hit there from Bassi, I think.
You don't see many headed through balls, but...
Well, I wonder what happened there.
Oh, it's Romero, sorry.
Yeah,
it wasn't
Romero.
Maddison.
Brilliant header there from Romero.
Incredible bit of skill.
Not the player you want that to fall to on his weak feet. Never looked comfortable,
and it was just getting away from him, wasn't it, all the time? In the end, he might have done better to put his foot on it and lay it back, but let's see how Brennan Johnson is now. Hopefully it's more of a knock.
Yeah, he's back on his feet.
Okay, good.
Seemed a bit innocuous, that one. And again, they're going to play it short here. They do keep getting caught here, Fulham, to be honest, when they're playing out the back. So we are doing a good job with our pressing game.
That's the first time they've gone long, and maybe that's why Bernd Leno being like, I'm not having that again.
And Willian, though, takes it down and keeps it away from Porro, gives it to Pereira. And now Fulham have got up the pitch here. They're in the Spurs half, but is he forced to play it backwards? He is. Bassi now to Tosin, and Maddison's pressing. And now Johnson's getting over to Castagna. And Lukic goes over the top. It's a good ball. And Iwobi's going to get there ahead of Udogie. Basuma can't get near him. And he looks, it's a good ball.
Oh, I thought the keeper
Porro
would come
get
for
there?
that.
No, Porro's going to get there ahead of Pereira.
Well.
And he does really well to play it back off him.
I thought the keeper, Porro's just given Vicario a look there because I thought that was the keeper's. That was very much like when I played in goal the other day and stuck on my line the entire time. Too scared of making myself look stupid. But Vicario in the end, I guess, proven correct by Porro dealing with it so well.
All right, well, half an hour in here. Very, very much an open game. I feel like we could have easily been 1-0 down here, but we have started to create a few chances, so I don't think you can definitely say we've been definitely second best. But I think Fulham will feel like with the chances they've created so far, they should have at least scored one of those.
I thought Fulham had the first 15, and then we've really come into it and made the chances in the second 15. And I think as a result of that, maybe Fulham are slightly dropping their pace a little bit in terms of the press. And for the first time, like I said, going long from the keeper, and they do so again.
Oh, and it's gone right through to Muniz, is it? Romero deals that really well. Porro takes it down, gives it to Kulusevski. Can he get under control? Little
do you know what I mean?
Flick, but just over hit.
I think he could have just tried to get that down, but I see what he's trying to do.
Here's Iwobi to Castagna. Johnson forcing him backwards, and he does really well to win the ball. And Udogie takes control of the situation. He's down on the left-hand side now. He's got Son in the box. He's got Maddison there. Gives it to Maddison. Shot! Oh, it's off the post! Oh, so close. Brilliant piece of play for Maddison. Does so well to get the shot off there. I think it's off the post, or did it hit a water bottle?
I think it was like water bottle just past the side netting. Udogie really does well to drive down the left, picks out Madders, one touch.
Oh, he does so well. No, it was a water bottle
passed.
just wide of the post. He does really well there. A little snapshot, quick shot because
if it's on target, it's in.
because it catches Leno off guard there.
The earlier you can take it, the less chance the keeper has to know what you're going to be doing.
Well. But credit there to Johnson, does really well with his pressing and creates that opportunity. But again, Tottenham don't finish that chance there. But great play from Sarr, and takes charge of it off Basuma, who would have played that into Kulusevski if Sarr didn't get involved.
Comes all the way back to Vicario, and Romero gives him an option, and Dragushin gives him an option. We played across our back line. Spurs
definitely finding their feet here at Craven Cottage.
Nice stuff from Dragushin just to beat his little presser there.
Maddison into Basuma. It's a loose touch. And it's a foul, though. Foul on Dragushin. Free kick. I think got away with that one a bit.
Got away with that big time.
Basuma's got to be more careful with his touch there. He does that way too often where he just takes a lack of care with his touch.
He played well last week, but there was just one of those in the first half, and then he's just had his one for the game now as well. Luis Morte, a real blast from the past, is the assistant. Marco Silva and him having a go at the fourth official. And me and Sim agree. I think Spurs got away with one there. I didn't see it as an obvious foul on Dragushin, and Basuma had given the ball away.
Here's Maddison being pressed by Iwobi. Sees him off and plays it off to Remember. Right. Here is Sarr. Back to Romero, just playing the safer pass this time. Romero out to Porro, doesn't give him the best pass. It bobbles up, and Porro's pass is intercepted, but it's fallen to Sonny. Here's Maddison. Out wide to Johnson now in a bit of space. His touch is in front of him.
Beautifully
keeps
weighted
it in.
Ball.
Can he go on the outside? He goes on the inside, Brennan. Into Sonny, flicks it into Maddison on the edge of the box. Oh, he lined up a shot as he'd been brought down. It falls to Kulusevski. And now Sarr looking for Porro. Can't quite find him, but Spurs maintain the pressure. Here's Sarr.
Good stuff from Sarr there.
Plays it back. We're finding these little pockets on the edge there.
Alan Smith, who I hate on co-commentary, has just said that Maddison's getting on the ball more, and that is starting to make us tick.
Should he have shot there, you reckon, on the edge? I
think he realised the chance.
Kulu in the box here. Kulusevski goes on the outside again.
Just think how good Kulu would be if he had a yard of pace.
So close to getting a good opening there.
Good stuff from Romero.
That's what I'm saying. They're struggling to get the ball off him, but when he gets to that position, just... doing too much.
But that can also be why in the second half, when they've got less, when they're more fatigued, he's so dangerous.
Madders now. Good ball to Kulu. His flick is not near anyone, and it's they would have let it go. It would have been a corner, I think, but Leno does keep it on.
I think Decky could have potentially pressed the keeper there a little more. But if you notice, every time Leno's got the ball now, he's just trying to calm it down a little bit. He feels that the pressure is coming back at Fulham. And as a result, he's trying to take a breather, get his players to have a little breather.
Tuan Vo says we've worn them down. We are definitely starting to wear them down. I think, yeah, as the stats say on the screen at the moment, last 10 minutes, I definitely think it's been Spurs in the ascendancy now. Here's Vicario. Plays it short to Basuma. Udogie, sorry, you can turn. No, it was Basuma into Udogie.
Well,
and Johnson
wasn't an
dribbles
easy ball
it,
for Johnson
out
to deal with there. He's got to watch the throw now.
Castagna.
Pereira's free in the middle. Someone pick him up. Someone pick him up.
Here is Pereira. Good flick into Castagna, who plays it back to Tosin, whose touch is a bit loose. He's going to be pressed by Brendan now and is all the way back to Leno. Son's coming over to him, but he's able to take a touch and play it long, and Spurs get the ball back now.
35 minutes gone. So many chances for a 0-0. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's very surprising this game.
Think how open it's going to be after about 60 minutes if it's been like this all half.
Both teams definitely trying to win this game.
And that's Lukic, I think, on having a little nibble at Maddison, and he wasn't happy about it. But anything that winds Maddison up is good for me, as far as I'm concerned. He plays better when he's on the edge, in my opinion.
Here's Papsar to Son to Basuma. Lovely play from Tottenham. Basuma turns back to Son.
Basuma there.
And now Porro, can he keep the ball? He can, really well, into Sarr, but he's forced backwards. Now Madders. Looking to turn on Lukic, and he's giving the ball away. And now Lukic plays out wide to Willian. Referee waves play on. Willian cuts inside. He's looking for support. He plays out good ball out wide to Iwobi, who's got Castagna support. He goes for the cross to the back post. Is over hit, but it's going to fall to Pereira on the left-hand side.
He's going to have a cross.
Pereira's ball is a good ball. Dragoshin, another good header.
Yeah.
And Lukic, that foul. Referee says yes. Foul by Sarr on Lukic there.
All right, he's calling.
He's going to call Maddison and Lukic over, yeah.
Together. Good refereeing there.
Yeah.
They both had a nibble at each other. Don't think this was much for Maddison, to be honest. Oh, he just has a secondary kick at him a little bit, yeah. That's Premier League
after
football.
Lukic went in on him there, yeah. He wasn't happy with that.
There wasn't much in that either, to be honest. Should be our throw here, I think. I don't.
Oh, is it our throw?
I
maybe
think
you're right.
He was just blowing the whistle to. Yeah, he was blowing the whistle. Oh, lovely from Son.
Can he get to Kulusevski? He does. Son
just runs away from him.
It's unlucky. The touch just a bit too much on it. Here's Vicario though coming out.
Oh, I thought he was giving that to Drag there.
Plays it to Destiny. On the left side now, Basuma. Oh, it's a loose pass. And Castagna's on his bike and wins it. But he wins it back, Basuma off Pereira. And now he plays it forward to Son. And now Spurs on the charge here.
Oh,
Sonny,
that's so rare of Sonny. I see what he's trying to do. So he's wanting Brennan Johnson to make the inside run from outside to in. And he plays the ball as such. But Johnson hadn't done it yet. He was waiting to get it on the outside.
I felt like he didn't have enough on it as well, Sonny. It was a bit of a weak pass. Bit more, I think Johnson maybe could have used his pace to get away from Tosin, but here is Sarr to Destiny Udogie.
Oh, lovely turn. Oh my God.
He's on the left-hand side. Oh, runs into Johnson, but
win a corner here.
Gets away with it. Can he win something? Castagna gives it to Maddison. Now Basuma. Good ball to Romero.
Yeah, really nice. Porro's on the inside.
Romero's looking for an inside pass. He gives it to Kulusevski.
A lot of that inverted fullback work is just kind of making little runs up and down that kind of inside right position, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dragoshin now needs an option.
Runs past Muniz.
Does really well.
And into Johnson now.
He can keep going if he wants, Drag. He has done. He stayed up. Who's going to cover him? Hopefully Basuma spotted it.
Udogie, I think that is.
Yeah. Opens it out to Romero.
Come on. He goes straight to Son, but again, Bassi, it's a foul by Son. Oh, is he injured himself there? So went into the 50-50 there, Sonny. It's just a sore one, I think. He looks okay.
That's what in Formula One you call a racing incident. Neither of them. He wasn't trying to foul him there. It's just bad touch. Chasing his bad touch, basically.
Foul on
Mind you, that is one of those ones where if that's Romero, he gets booked.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's because it's Sonny, he doesn't get booked there, but it is a bad foul. Not bad foul, but it's a,
could have injured himself there, Sonny.
Foul, yeah. But because it's Sonny, he just apologises and everything's okay. 38 minutes gone. Feel like this last 7 or 8 minutes before half-time are going to be massive.
Yeah, if we can just get in the lead here, that'll be so big to managing this game. Bassi goes over the top, looking for Willian. Porro's there. He's going to see it out.
Well done, Pedro.
Well done.
Willian having a go at his own player for thinking he had the pace for that anymore.
Here's Vicario. He's shouting at someone. Gives it to Romero. Down the line to Kulusevski. Could try to keep away from Robinson. He does. Porro goes up top to looking for Sarr, I think it was. But
oh, hello.
Hello. Son
Hello.
put pressure on him.
Oh, Sonny stopped there a little bit.
Should have kept
Tosin
going.
had tried to head it back to his keeper.
Leno's pass. Oh, here we go. Kulusevski.
Brilliant from Sarr.
Chance.
He's going to shoot.
Cuts inside. His shot is blocked. He had Son and Maddison in support. He didn't use them. And his shot was blocked there. Frustrating. Sarr did really well to get that touch to Kulusevski.
Basuma's done well there as well.
And Porro wins it back, and now Romero. Sarr can turn.
Oh, that's happened too many
had to
times.
foul, is it? No, referee says throw into Fulham.
That's happened too many times where we've played the pass for the player to come short and the player's already gone the other way. And the defender has nipped in. It's been Robinson who's nipped in a lot, who I do think is a good player. Kulusevski asking for a foul there, but, well, the follow-through's not great, but
I don't think it's a foul.
Just got him in the groin, unfortunately.
Throw in to Fulham. Robinson back to Bassi now.
Yeah.
Leno being pressed by Son, and he's forced long on his right foot. And here's a doggy to win the
that's
header.
unlucky from Destiny.
Can he win it? Basuma flicks it. Johnson can't win it off Castagna. Now Basuma wins off Lukic, and Johnson flicks it into Maddison. That's a foul, surely, on Castagna.
Brilliant from Maddison there.
Does well.
Maddison just sees that it's Castagna's coming, gets his body in between, and goes down like a sack of spuds. Excellent from Maddison there to win a free kick in what was an area where if we'd lost the ball, there could have been a quick transition on.
Now Madders, he wants to take it quickly, and he will to a doggy. Basuma now to Johnson. He's looking for the flick, and no one read it. And it's going to go back to Burn Leno. Into the last 5 minutes of the half. I don't envisage too many stoppages.
No.
It's been quite a free-flowing half, to be fair.
No goals for celebrations or anything like that.
Tosin now goes long, but won by Doggy, and now Johnson doesn't react quick enough, and Castagna is able to get a touch on it, and it's going to be back to Leno. It's a good ball to Pereira, who flicks it into Willian, but won by Porro.
Oh, was it Porro? Sorry. No, it's Romero.
Oh, it was Romero. Romero. Here's Pereira. Sarr can't get there. Here's Robinson now on the left-hand side.
He goes for the early cross. It's a beautiful cross.
It's Muniz! Oh, it's 1-0.
What an excellent finish. What an excellent finish.
It's a great goal from Fulham. Robinson gets the early ball in. Muniz with the run. He just peels off. I think it was Dragoshin. One touch and finish into the corner, and he carries on his amazing form. Just what we didn't need just before half-time.
Yeah. I had a feeling that kind of last 7 minutes was going to be vital if anyone could get a goal.
Against the run of play, I would say, but they're the ones who got the goal here. It's a great goal. Spurs just caught on their heels a bit.
Go on, get ahead of him.
Great early ball here.
Get ahead of him. No, he's miles on. No, Romero's
he's well on. Yeah, Romero keeps him on.
What a cross from Robinson.
One touch, and Dragoshin can't get over quick enough, and it's a good finish by Muniz. And Fulham do have the lead here. Dragoshin just couldn't get to him.
It's a top-class finish. It's a top-class finish.
Right into the corner. Vicario couldn't get near it.
I don't blame Dragoshin for that. I think it was quite a quick kind of turnover in midfield. Could he have been nearer his man potentially? But it's a great cross. Come on, bends all the way around the outside.
No, he's onside here, surely.
It's nowhere near offside. Why are they even checking this? I mean, unless that's a different angle to the lines.
Can't see how this is off.
If they find a way for this to be
looking
offside,
at his
incredible.
blue.
Yeah, but it's not him. It's the
look at Romero. He's well onside. He's well onside. Yeah, he's well onside. Yeah. To goal.
Be interesting to see if Fulham change the way they're playing now and maybe drop off a little bit. But obviously it's half-time soon, so most likely not, I would suggest.
There's the second celebration that we have now.
Sometimes, I mean, I don't know. Let us know what you think in the comments, but sometimes you just got to say it's a great cross and a great finish.
Yeah, credit to Fulham. It was a very quick goal. Within a few passes, it was in the back of the net.
Yeah, we've had some chances. We've just not been quite as clinical so far.
Here's Vicario to Romero. Such a bad time to concede. Porro, it's a loose pass, but Basuma makes sure it doesn't cost him. Here's Dragoshin.
Now the Fulham fans are dancing. They're up for it.
Johnson with a flick round the corner to Doggy. It's just ahead of him.
On that.
And now Muniz holds it up.
Watch Iwobi.
Oh, Johnson does really hard to get a tackle in. It was really annoying because I was just about to say before that goal that Dragoshin had really been dealing with Muniz this game, like really well. Muniz wasn't getting much out of him, but does get his goal.
Does.
And he's a striker in really, really good form at the moment. Muniz. Here's Iwobi. Castagna, gets it past the dog. Is that a foul?
He dived.
Referee says yes.
He dived. He took a step and then dived on the floor. They've got a free kick now, Fulham, on the out wide, kind of level with the 6-yard box, I'd say.
Little nutmeg on him, and then he gets the touch ahead of him. Doesn't really make any contact. That's a dive. Doesn't make any contact there, does he? Or maybe a bit. Nah, that's a dive.
You've got to at least go down when the contact is, rather than 2 steps afterwards. 2 minutes added time. Vital Spurs stay strong here, that's for sure.
Well, the good thing is we've been in this position before and we've overcome it, so there'll be belief that we can turn this around. But can't concede a second here, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Pereira with a free kick.
Spurs defensive line lined up on the 6-yard box. Just basically allowing all the Fulham players coming in from around the penalty spot area. They've got light markers on them, I'd say.
It's in there. It's
second ball.
Out by Maddison. Can Kulusevski get this under control? He does get a touch. And can he keep away from Iwobi? He does really well. Can he keep it in? He can't. Oh, wins the throw, though.
Yeah, I thought that was Basuma, to be honest. Oh, that's a good record for Fulham.
They're unbeaten this season when winning at half-time, or when scoring first, I should say. So we'd have to do something that no team in the league has done before and beat Fulham when they've taken the lead. Here's Dragoshin.
I don't think there'll be any panic at half-time. I don't think Ange will be panicking at all. I think we've had our chances.
Here's Johnson, the doggy. Oh, a nice turn, free kick. Maybe a chance to get the ball in the box just before the break.
I think they'll do it quick, won't they?
Yeah, they like the quick free kicks down there. And they give him to Johnson on the left-hand side.
Yeah, Madder's joining him.
Does he get anyone in support here? Johnson goes on the outside. Oh, and it's going to be a corner. Yep. And
get up, mate.
Castagna is down.
Last 30 seconds of the half. Castagna just feeling an impact injury there, I think. It couldn't. I mean, realistically, there were so many chances in that half. One of us were going to score, and it was a beautiful piece of strikers play.
Always. Johnson's foot lands on Castagna.
If Rodrigo keeps scoring goals like that, then other teams will be sniffing around him because he's a handful, that's for sure.
Maddison's corner. It's headed away. Only as far as Porro. Is it going to blow up? It is. It is half-time at Craven Cottage. Fulham do go into the half-time break 1-0 up thanks to Rodrigo Muniz with the finish just before the break. Really, really open game of football. Really good half of football for the neutral. Spurs could have easily gone on the score sheet themselves, but Fulham, I think they'll feel like they create enough openings to deservedly be on the score sheet at least. And although I did feel like their goal did probably come against run of play when they did score, they created enough openings to feel justified in taking the lead.
Certainly did. That, especially that first 15 minutes, I thought Fulham were by far the better team. And then Spurs really came into it. Sonny had a great chance. We had a few really good openings. But in the end, it was the one bit of kind of supreme quality in front of goal, in my eyes, that has put Fulham ahead. Great number 9 play and an excellent cross from Robinson, who I have read has been linked with Liverpool actually as well in the last few months. And you can see why. He's got a hint of the Andy Robertson about him. Works tirelessly down the left flank and has a good delivery on him. Look, I think there are definitely going to be chances for Spurs in the second half. I think a lot of it will be about do not concede early again, stay in the game, make Fulham start. Are we going to start trying to hang on for this 1-0 win? Make them sit back a little bit more, get the pressure on, and then hopefully our clinical nature will come into it. At some point, if we're still losing with 20 minutes to go, 25 minutes to go, I'm sure he'll bring Richarlison on and try and get some more crosses into the box. Maybe he would take Johnson off for that and move Sonny out to the left. But at the moment, we've had so many chances that I'm not overly worried. Obviously, to win from 1-0 down is a lot harder, but we've done it before this season. We can do it again.
It's another game at half time. We go in, having not scored. I think I can't remember the last time we scored in the first half. I think it might have been Everton away the last time we scored in the first half. So it's yet another game we have struggled in the first half to put the ball in the back of the net. Do you have any theories as to why that might be?
I mean, I think potentially there's an element of teams work all week to set up how to play against us and nullify our threats. And then when it gets into the second half, when fatigue starts playing a part, it's harder to do exactly what you're told for the whole time and not be pulled out of position. Whereas we are coached to play this specific way the whole time. There's only one way kind of that's been muscle memoried into the players. And therefore, in the second half, when players are getting more space and our kind of world-class players get chances, hopefully that's where the clinical edge kicks in.
Well, looking at the stats going into half-time, Spurs have had 58% possession. Shots on goal, Fulham have had 7, Tottenham had 5. Fulham had 3 shots on target. We've only had 1. I can't remember who had that shot on target. Must have been... I don't remember who.
Shot on target.
We had 1 shot on target in that half. Not sure who that was. In terms of big chances, we both had 1 each, it says here. In terms of XG, Fulham on 0.96 and Spurs 0.5. So Fulham definitely having the better of the chances according to the stats. So they'll probably feel like they deserve to be in the lead going into half-time. Has been a bit frustrating because I feel like Spurs have created... from their high regains, a number of openings to take advantage of that Fulham backline, and especially in those moments they feel vulnerable, and especially Kulusevski, who I felt like from a pressing point of view and ball retention point of view has been doing some really good stuff. But then once he gets beyond that and then has been asked to create a chance, get a shot on goal, has been found wanting a bit. So it's been like I'm not sitting here thinking we've played terribly, because I don't think we have. I think we've done some really good things, but it's just in that final third we just haven't been as clinical as probably were last week.
Yeah, and that's the way it goes sometimes. And like I said, nor have Fulham, apart from that one opportunity. So yeah, like I said earlier, I think apart from that first 15 minutes, I thought we were absolutely the better side in that half. I see in the comments that Decky Kulusevski's getting a lot of kind of abuse for being slow or not being good enough, his decision making, but I disagree. I just think there's an element with Kulusevski where defenders know that he's going to be cutting it on the coming on the inside. And every so often, I'd like to see him maybe drop a shoulder and go down the right, even if that's just to get to the byline and then bring it back to Porro or for it to come across the front, just to make the defenders think a little differently. But Kulusevski is a perfect example of the kind of player you want on the pitch still when you're getting into that last 20-25 minutes and you need clutch decision making. And I'd still back him over Werner, for instance, in that situation at the moment.
Just think as well, a lot of his good stuff just goes unnoticed. Like, I think he's having a better game than, for example, Brennan. I think he's getting a lot more joy on the ball than someone like Brennan is on that half of the pitch. And I think he's actually doing a lot of good stuff when it comes to holding the ball, getting past his man, and when he's taking him on and getting into the penalty area. How many touches in the penalty area has Kulu had? He's had quite a lot, but unfortunately, when he's got in those positions, he hasn't taken full advantage of the good work that he's done, and that's what's a bit frustrating. But I think he's actually been one of our brighter players in that half, actually, with some of the good stuff he's done.
I think a lot of what Kulusevski brings to the team is about when we're trying to play through the opposition press, it coming up to him in an incredibly tight space by the touchline, and him using his kind of strong, low centre of gravity and kind of his ability to hold the ball up with his back to goal and bring in the other players. And he does that, but obviously, when you're somebody who's gets angry easily about when your team are losing, you don't really care about that side of it. All you want is someone to be quick and beat the player on the outside or score every time or assist every time. But that's not always possible to be the case. And therefore, he does a lot of kind of untalked about work, I think. They're just showing the replay of the goal.
Yeah, look at that goal. Do you think Porro could maybe get closer to Robinson? He doesn't really... But maybe bust a gut to get tight to him.
I said it before the game. We're very bad at stopping crosses from the source, and we've got to do that, especially when you're playing a high line. Because if you give the player on the ball time to measure his cross, he's going to find that position of maximum opportunity, and that's what happened. They're just showing some of Fulham's other chances, which were in the first 15 minutes.
Yeah, and they went close a number of times. If it wasn't for some really good defending from Romero and Dragushin, and also some decent keeping from Vicario, we definitely could have conceded in that early exchanges where Fulham really came flying out the traps and looked really bright. But yeah, we put in some brilliant blocks and Romero was on top of his game. And then Tottenham, I felt, did start to take control, and we were creating chances of ourselves, and we definitely could have made not just chances. I felt like there was a number of opportunities where we didn't get a chance from, where we should have got a chance from as well. But Fulham definitely got a lot of joy down the sides, especially Robinson, who was causing us a lot of trouble down that left-hand
they're just
side.
showing the Spurs chances now. So a lot of times where Sonny's got into this position, while Maddison then on the left cuts it back to Son. This was the big chance, really. Opens his body out just maybe a yard over the bar. That was unfortunate. Sonny doing well in midfield again there. Maddison on the ball. This was Brennan Johnson's chance. That's right. That's the shot on target. He didn't get hold of it. That is the kind of chance you want to fall to Sonny, to be honest. But good play there from Brennan Johnson. Yeah, this is another one. Udoggy breaking in down the left, and he cuts it back to Madders. It's just wide of the post, wasn't it? Listen, it could be a different game. I mean, I would say arguably Rodrigo should have scored earlier in the game as well when the ball came across the front and he tries to flick it in from just behind him. So they deserve their goal, but I'd say we've had 2 or 3 gilt-edged chances there, which you'd expect us to have again in the second half. But the key is we cannot concede the next goal, because 2-0 down, we're not winning the game from there realistically. If that happens and we do, happy for you to meme me up.
Charlie Vale says, didn't come out with the same energy as Fulham did. Captains need to lead by example in the second half. Look, I think you're right. Like, obviously, Fulham were more energetic, but sometimes when you go away from home, that's going to happen. I've seen, good teams. That happens to some good teams as well. But then once they start to take control, all of a sudden it's a different story. Unfortunately, I felt like we conceded probably, in the point of the game we were probably on top. But that's how it goes sometimes.
One thing I'd say is, as opposed to the games where we've gone 1-0 down before, which is kind of like the Brentford game, wasn't it? Was it Palace as well? Did we go 1 down?
We did. We went down in the second half in that one.
As opposed to those games, this feels a bit more like the Brighton away game, where actually, we're 1 down to a team who are actually kind of properly coming at us and giving us space on the return. So that's why I keep saying we can't concede the second goal, because if we do, it could easily go 3 before we know it, and we're left, as we were at the Amex, desperately in the last 10 minutes trying to make it 4 all. But let's see how it goes. I think it's important. Obviously, a lot of people in the comments disagree, but it's important not to be too reactive at the moment.
A lot of people slagging Kulu off. I mean, I just disagree. I don't think he deserves more criticism than most. I think they're criticising him because he's been the one getting himself in those positions to kind of not do it. But I think they don't appreciate how hard it is to get into those positions. A lot of wingers, they don't even get there, but he's good enough to kind of get into the penalty area with his own skill. But unfortunately, it just hasn't paid off just yet. But I think it will. Look,
I completely agree. But also, not only that, he's getting in those positions and then trying to make something happen, as in playing a brave ball rather than rather than going back into midfield, which arguably I'd say, and I think Brennan Johnson is a lot more confident than he has been now, and he's doing well. But arguably Johnson isn't as brave. He's a bit more afraid of losing the ball in essence, whereas Kulusevski's trying to find kind of really difficult passes. But yeah, look, is Kulusevski playing 10 out of 10? No, he's not. But I again think he is a kind of player I would keep on the pitch for when chances really come up in the second half.
BSD29 says, Maddison does nothing different with the ball than Sarr or Basuma do. He just plays higher up. He needs to up his game. I thought there were times where Maddison was really starting to dictate things in that game, but obviously he did nearly score. He was looking quite bright. I haven't been too upset with Maddison so far. Obviously, I'd like him to do more, especially as we're 1-0 down now. He needs to really make sure that we got that clinical edge to us, but I don't think he's having a bad game, Maddison.
No, Maddison is coming deep to try and get on the ball to make stuff happen and free up space for other people. So I wouldn't look too much into the fact that we're losing 1-0 and start blaming all and sundry. It's like, listen, it's the Premier League. This is a classic Saturday 5:30 kickoff game where Sky are desperate for the underdog to win it. And, that's why there are people from who support other clubs in the comments getting at us. They want Tottenham to lose. This is one of Fulham's biggest games of the season, London derby. They want to prove everything, and they're playing well. You can't say we're getting beaten by a team who are just sitting back and being rubbish. They're actually playing really well.
They are.
And the first 15 minutes especially, but after that, we showed our dominance. And they've scored a goal from a bit of class, in my opinion. It's very easy to just decide to blame somebody, but sometimes you just got to throw your hands up and say, actually, that was a really brilliant cross.
Yeah.
And there was so much space in behind us because we play a high line. We're told to play like that. And Big Ange says to them, if you play that high line and that left back is able to bend a cross round to the striker who's able to take it first time or one touch and then score, then you've got to throw your hands up, and I agree with him.
Yeah, and I think as well, I think you make a good point. Fulham, I do feel like Fulham have really brought their A game today. They're playing very, very good performance. And look, they've been very good recently at home. They beat Man United away as well. They turned over Arsenal, Craven Cottage. So it's not an easy place to go. And I don't think we're doing badly. I remember watching that Arsenal game. Arsenal had barely any chances in that game. They really struggled in that game. Yeah. So it's not. I think we're getting quite a lot more joy than a lot of other teams have.
And to go with what you're saying, Joe Shanahan in the chat says Fulham have won 8 of their 14 home games. It's not a walkover game. Exactly.
Yeah, 100%. And it's only half time. And also, we saw last week against Aston Villa, Ange was saying, he felt the opposition were tiring near the end of the half. And then, in that second half, we really took them to the sword. We used our energy. Mm-hmm. And I think we've seen that a lot this season, where we wear teams down and then come the second half, as you say, as fatigue kicks in, they find it a lot harder to kind of deal with what we're trying to do. And maybe that will happen to Fulham in the second half.
I hope so. If we can get the next goal in the game, I would back us to go on and win that. But the key thing at this point is not to let them in easily in the second half to make it 2-0 early doors, because that would be very difficult to come back from.
Unknown 133 says, weren't you clowns saying 4-0? I don't think anyone said 4-0. I said 2-1. That's very much still on. And Barnaby, I agree, said 2-2.
Starcrow said 8 of 14. That's only just half. That's not amazing. Well, I would argue that for a team like Fulham, with the budget that they've got and the squad that they've got to win 8 out of 14 games at home, including matches against Arsenal,
and a 3-0 win against Brighton, who are a very good footballing team as well. So, and also, it's also a good point that when we do get one, we've shown a propensity so far this season to score in clusters, don't we?
Yeah.
And we when the momentum's with us, we're very, very hard to stop once we get a goal.
Totally. But look, I didn't come into this game thinking it would be easy by any means, and it's proven exactly how I imagined it would. I'm just actually pleased that they have come at us, and it's a game where we're going to make chances. If we're 1-0 down in a game like this, like against Brentford, it does really worry me, because then you're like, are we actually going to make the chances? Anyway, look, this is what I was talking about before. They're not allowed to sit anyone in their new stand across the middle of it because of a design fault. Hilarious.
Jesus, how are they going to solve that?
I think I heard from a Fulham fan friend that it's going to be the closed season when they can properly work on it again, but I could be wrong.
What a disaster. In terms of the break, you keeping it the same, no subs, you think?
Yeah, I think it'll stay the same for at least 10-15 minutes. Mm-hmm. Obviously, I think if we were to concede early, he'd probably have to do something. Maybe he'd bring on Gio for Sarr, maybe something like that, to get a bit more creativity down the middle. But who knows? What about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I think at the break, I don't think he's making changes. I don't think I would either. I think we're good enough to get a goal back. But I think what he usually does is he likes to put Kulusevski in the centre, doesn't he? And then maybe put Brendan on the right and Werner on the left. I think it's a good chance.
You think he'd bring Werner on before Richarlison, and maybe not Richarlison in the 9 and push Sonny out left?
I've got a feeling, yes. I think he would only bring Richarlison on, especially as he's come back from injury, potentially like last 15 minutes or so. I think he would put Werner on first, and then potentially Richarlison after that. But you've got some other options. Maybe you could consider Bentancur as well. Maybe Bentancur for Basuma. Basuma's not having the best game, so we could consider that. But I think right now, no need to panic. Keep the same team. If there's in the next 15 minutes, if nothing's happening, then consider the changes.
I would say a little bit in these kind of first seasons of projects, it can be kind of 2 steps forward, 1 step back, a little bit. And this feels not dissimilar to the Wolves game in a lot of ways, in that, we felt like a win there would really push us on with a chance. And it feels like this, a win here would really kind of cement that top 4 position, I think, after that win against Villa. But I'm hoping by saying it, I'm wrong.
We are underway for the second half here at Craven Cottage. Fulham kicking off now from right to left. Romero winning the header. But not before the game has started now, but let's get those likes up, guys. I haven't had any calls for likes so far. There's only 320 likes with only over 2,000 people watching. So big up to everyone in the live chat at the moment, watching all the drama unfold here at Craven Cottage. And let's hope that Spurs can turn around. Although, straight away, Udogie has to give away a corner, a deep cross.
Udogie did great at the back post there. Willian with a very deep cross after Porro actually had done well on the right-hand side, but then tried to play a cute ball down the line, hadn't got enough on it. Willian picks it up, plays a deep cross to the back stick, and it looked like Iwobi was going to have a chance. Udogie just got his head, the very top of his head on it, to go out for corner, and Fulham with some early pressure.
Yeah, another fast start. Big up everyone. Already up to 414 likes. Let's go to 1,000. But corner in. Pereira headed on, and it's gone behind Lukic, I think. And Udogie forces him backwards. Son's now pressing. Robinson with another good ball in, and Dragoshin forced to flick it away. And now Iwobi to Pereira, and Vicario does brilliantly with outstretched arms to hang on to that, because there's a really good ball in from Pereira, and there's a couple of Fulham players waiting there at the back post. Also, great flick there from Dragoshin to make sure that Muniz doesn't get there. Oh,
that's outstanding goalkeeping. The ball flashes. Oh, lovely pass.
His Son. Sar doesn't get there.
Sar just running away from the ball a little bit today, but
go towards it. Come on.
Yeah, no, it was great goalkeeping from Vicario. But you have to say, whenever Fulham get it down in the channels, they look so dangerous. That is definitely a tactic they've been using. They see that because of the way that the two fullbacks play inverted, there's so much space to be had there.
Leno with a long ball forward. Can Romero win it? He does, but he's given it straight to Pereira. But Basuma makes sure that Spurs win the ball back. Here's Porro to Udogie. Out wide to Johnson. Back to Destiny. Now Johnson. Maddison, they're shouting. He wanted the ball, I can see.
Yeah, we're just playing it around the halfway line here between Basuma and Udogie. Now it comes out to Romero on the right-hand side.
Here's Romero. Nice ball to Son, and he keeps it away from Lukic. He plays on after he got a little tap, and Son's not happy with that. He seems to have picked something up. He seems all right, though. Johnson, Maddison.
Who's on side?
Apparently, referee hasn't blown. Here's Sonny now. Now Maddison to Johnson on the left-hand side. He's onside. He cuts it back, and Son with a header, and there's a deft flick, but it's gone. Doesn't really reach anyone, and Willian can clear. Here's Romero to Porro.
Yeah,
wins the throw. Does he?
Do
No, he doesn't. Throw into Fulham. It looked like it was our throw, but
Willian loves playing well against us.
He does. Very annoying.
I said it this week in my match preview. Like, I wish the Spurs fans wouldn't boo him, because I feel like he plays better when we do. Yeah, Alan Smith just called it, and it's true. Every time we lose the ball in midfield, there's such a huge gap in central midfield.
To Castagna. He's in the box again. He crosses in. A flip. Oh, it's 2-0.
Tell you what, he's not even meant that. It's just bounced off Lukic's knee from across from the right and gone into the far corner.
Oh, it's a disastrous start to the half.
Yeah.
Disaster! Oh, man. All over the place at the back.
Yeah.
All over the place. Sasa Lukic has got on the score sheet, and Tottenham in real trouble now. Real trouble.
Tell you what, if he's actually opened his foot out and put this in the far corner, it is an unbelievable finish. So the ball, as we said, central midfield completely free. Iwobi gets it out wide to Lukic. They're onside there.
Onside
and then,
there.
Look, he just pings it.
Onside there again, Romero.
Yeah, it's just off his knee, is it? I think it's just off his knee. So lucky.
I think it's off his thigh.
So lucky. But they make their own luck. They started well this second half. They're getting it out wide every time, and they're scoring.
Just a lucky finish, but it's right into the corner, and it's 2-0. I don't know if he meant that.
No, he didn't. I mean,
just flicks
he meant to put it in an area. But...
Oh, Tottenham just looks sluggish in this second half so far. Really disappointing.
Just Fulham have absolutely seen where the chances are to be created, and they've made chance after chance from these wide areas.
So disappointing. Here's Porro to Kulusevski. Now Sarr. That'll play for a Fulham throw. Really, really disappointing start to the second half. Fulham have been fantastic, and we've just had no answer to their play on the wide areas.
I did say at the beginning of this half, felt a bit like the Brighton game, and it does a little bit. They're just slightly more on it than we are.
Now Iwobi, Paulinho, here's Pereira, out wide to Robinson, takes it past Kulusevski, and now Willian.
He's in.
And Robinson's in again, and he pulled it back, and Romero gets a touch on it.
Every little 50-50 is bouncing for them as well, which isn't helping us, but that could be because they're just putting a little bit more in. We've got to stay in this now and try and get the next goal.
Robinson. Oh, brilliant play for Willian, but Romero comes and clears and puts out for a throw.
You can see how they turned over Brighton 3-0. Oh, they've won their last...
Spurs have won their last 7 here.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Here's Bassi. Come on, let's get a goal quickly. Sonny pressing Bassi now, who goes long.
We saw earlier this week, didn't we? Who was it?
Romero's giving it away, but we're going to win that back. Bournemouth
Basuma came from 3-0 down,
they
didn't they,
did,
earlier this
yeah.
week?
Basuma, outplay. It's a foul, though. Is it?
It should be.
Or he stopped the play for something. Ferreira just down injured at the moment.
He's just taking a little breather for the team there, I think.
Werner getting warmed up.
51 minutes gone. Next goal, massive. Pereira's still down.
Getting treatment now.
Means there'll be some added time at least. Oh, well, he's fouled Romero there.
He's found, Porro. That's a foul. I don't know what he's...
Sorry, Basuma's fouled him.
Twisted something. He's got Adama to bring on as well. Bloody hell. Forgot about him.
I don't think they'll bring him on.
I think if Spurs are getting back in the game, I reckon, you know what I mean, they'll bring him on as an outlet.
If we're really chasing it in the last 20 for sure.
Charlie Vale says this is all on the players' lackadaisical effort. Well, I have to say the start to both halves has been very disappointing. That's the reality. I don't think the overall performance has been that bad, but definitely the how we've come out of the blocks in both halves has been really, really bad, really poor.
Yeah. It has. Fulham have done well. But look, let's make ourselves a chance. Come on, there's still 40 minutes to go this game.
Here's Dragoshin to Romero. Now Basuma, can he turn into Sarr? In behind for Kulusevski. It's a good ball. Kulu gets in the box. Is he brought down? Right. Referee says no.
Never getting that.
And Bassi can clear. Romero. Oh, it's a good flick by Muniz. And Dragoshin comes flying over and puts out play for a throw.
I mean, I guess it's worth asking the question. I personally don't think Dragoshin's done anything particularly wrong, but is Mickey van der Ven, making any difference to either of those two goals?
I doubt it. I don't think the second one. In the first one, does he get over to Muniz? I don't think so.
Is there an argument to say that Van der Ven's pace allows him, I don't mean it for the goal specifically, but allows him to cut out some of those balls into the channels that we've been suffering with so much in this game so far?
I think there's a case for it.
Oh, Brennan.
Oh, Son there with a poor touch. And now back to Fulham. Nicholas Walker with the super chat says, first time this season I'm accusing us of being lazy. First touches are awful. We look like we thought we'd only turn up.
I don't think your first touch is bad because you're lazy. Like it's because you're being pressed or you're not quite on it. I don't know.
Oh, Dragoshin, nice, confident play from him. Here's a doggy.
Well done, Destiny. That's
Here's
better.
Madison.
I think Fulham, if you watch the game, Fulham are pressing.
Oh, lovely. And that's got to be a yellow. Yeah, yellow for Paulinia.
Fulham are pressing us incredibly well and have done in the first 15 minutes of both halves so far, first 10 minutes of this half. And it's hard to play against. You know, when teams do it right, it's hard to play against. That's the reality. That's a bad foul from Paulinia. Yeah. Proper professional foul.
Straight yellow. Oh, I tell you, it's high on his ankle there. Not a nice one there from Paulinia.
Any higher and that's a red.
Madison's still down now. If he was to go off injured, that would be a disaster.
I'd be tempted, just because he's not making any of those breaks in behind, I'd be tempted to get Sarr off for Bentancur, have someone on who's a bit more comfortable with the ball. At this stage, Madders is limping.
JRD says Son's been awful. He hasn't had his best game, I think it's fair to say.
I'm not sure if
Pot.
he's missed one chance. I'm not sure he's been awful. I thought he's done okay coming to get the ball deep.
Porro in behind looking for Dragoshin, who's peeled off, and his header is
Offside anyway.
offside as well.
2-0, 55 minutes gone, and surely thinking about making some changes.
It's going to be Leno. I think at this point, you've got to be thinking of a change at this point. Here's Tosin to Castagna down the line. Basuma over his head, but Dragoshin picks it up.
He's pretty calm on the ball, Drag.
I think he's had a pretty good game. I don't think the reason we're 2-0 down is anything because of him. I actually think he's been one of our better players. Here's Romero. Now Dragoshin out wide.
He's done that twice, though, I will say that.
Commentator's curse there. Really poor pass
that's
out
where
wide.
in reality, the fact that Van der Ven is left-sided
makes
means
a
that we are
difference.
more balanced.
Now Paulinho. Foul by Sarr, apparently. Free kick.
Sar's tried to press the ball off him there, but he's given him a bit as well, I think, because of what happened before. Disappointing thing for me a little bit is since the goal, we haven't kind of
had
the
a
tempo,
reaction. Not sure what Sar's complaining about. A pretty clear foul. Yeah, it goes right through him.
Fulham starting to just take their breather every single time they go down now, if you notice. Trying to take the sting out of the game. It's the reality.
Can't allow that to happen, Tottenham. Come on. No. Tosin with a long ball forward, and it's going to go out for a throw.
Need a bit of magic here. It's gone a bit
flat.
Bit flat, to say the least. But
come on, Ange, think of some subs.
That's the reality, though. He hasn't got his full squad. I mean, I know he's got a good team out, but what I mean is these kind of games, it's not going to be a
lovely from Udogie. And he gives it to Sarr. Puts a challenge in, but Robinson comes out and wins it. And he's going to try and take on Romero. Romero wins the challenge, though. He's been fouled, no?
Wouldn't surprise me if Robinson was on our list for the summer.
Good player. I've always been a fan of Robinson.
How old is he? Like mid-20s?
Yeah, I think like 25 maybe.
Yeah,
but he's broad shoulders, he's tall, but very quick.
Very quick, athletic, comfortable on the ball.
Got a good left foot as well.
Is he English?
American.
Got it. That's why he's not in Gareth.
Tosin.
Good ball.
Into Iwobi. He's also been very good today, Tosin. I have to say his passing's been nice.
Never rated him at all. But
Tosin, he's...
Marcus Silva does. They're just... Fulham are just popping
Pereira,
it about.
good ball out wide, and Willian's touch is outplay for a throw into Spurs.
Fulham are popping it about.
Romero
really
to Porro. Here's Kulusevski now.
Does well.
Come on, Basuma.
Give it easy. Well done.
Dragoshin.
An option. See, this is where it has to come back this way because he's not as comfortable playing that ball out wide left.
We know he's already played out of play a couple of times. Here's Romero, Basuma, Madders. Tottenham now trying to get out the pitch. Who's Dragoshin?
We haven't had a chance in this second half.
No. It's a poor ball from Sarr.
Yeah, we're
rushing it now, and it's leading to problems.
Panicking a bit.
Now Lukic to Iwobi, and they're streaming forward again. Fulham. Iwobi after good ball to Castagna in behind. Great. It's a great save from Vicario. I was wondering if it was a foul there.
Fulham looking like prime Brazil at the moment. They're playing beautifully, and we
can't handle them. We can't handle them at the moment. They're playing Iwobi with a really nice ball there. Yeah, well onside Castagna, and Basuma's forced to go flying over there, and could have been a penalty there.
He's got his shot away first.
Yeah,
we'll get away
a bit
with
lucky.
It.
Good save from Vicario.
Vicario's made a few good saves already today.
Terrible second half from Tottenham so far.
Really reminds me of that
poor.
Brighton game. Of course, they went 4-0 up in that game before we got a couple of goals back. Corner comes in.
Pereira's corner. Paulinho there. And Bassi turns and it's the post and...
3-0. There's no excuse for that because once you've actually dealt with the difficult part, you've got to then sweep up the seconds. Terrible from Spurs.
What is that defending? Muniz has injured himself in the goal, but That is an absolute shambles. Absolute shambles.
And the Sky Sports script is written as the commentator talks about this being a famous win. Just bad defending from a corner
We
here.
were so slow from that corner as well. Bassi has time to take a touch, turn and shoot in the box from a corner.
Yeah.
And then they get to the second ball as well, and it trickles into the net. How's there no one there?
Horrible.
Oh, it's so bad. We're just
not-
all
we're
over
not-
the
we're
place.
just not
All
good at
over the
defending
place.
set pieces. We're
He's
not-
onside there. Bassi.
Romero's a bit
time.
deep there.
Oh, Vicario makes a save, and Dragoshin just does. He's not quick enough there. Isn't quick enough to react. Oh, come
Also,
on.
I tell you where the mistake is there, and it's a light one. But Romero from the
I think
first
Dragoshin
header,
kicks it onto him, doesn't he?
from the first header, Romero is really deep and therefore keeps Bassi onside, and that's what makes the goal.
Muniz just gets ahead of Dragoshin there. So disappointing. Vicario saves it onto the post.
I think
And
it hits the post, then hits him actually. And if that hadn't gone in, it would have been a penalty anyway. So
what a disaster this game has been. Absolute disaster.
yeah, it's like this is what happens in the Premier League. If you don't score when you make your chances, it comes back to bite you. And Sonny had a good chance. Johnson had a good chance. We missed them both. 3-0 down.
I
Half
can't
an hour
believe
to
this
go.
game. I can't believe it's gone this badly.
Look, could be
Oh,
ugly,
Porro's
this.
giving it away, and they've got their tails up,
It's a yellow
Fulham.
card. Palhinha's had a good game again.
Yellow card for Basuma. I'm just going to go for a piss. I'll be back in a sec. Oh,
Sim has lost it.
I'm damn out.
His bladder's lost it. He's lost it. So basically what happened there was it was a bad ball from Porro trying to find Basuma. Palhinha comes in and Basuma has to hack him down to stop them from getting through towards our goal. And that's a yellow card for Basuma's 6th of the season. 62 minutes gone. Spurs 3-0 down. Fulham fans absolutely loving it. Every time the Fulham players go down after a free kick, they pretend they're a little bit injured so they can take more sting out of the game, not allow us to get any momentum back in the game. At 1-0 down at half-time, I thought as long as we didn't concede the second goal early, then there was a chance for us to turn this round. But we did exactly that, the one thing you can't do, and therefore it's quickly become 3. The Fulham fans absolutely loving this, and Spurs being made to look incredibly average. We're not an average side, but we're being made to look at it today from some good finishing. The first goal, of course, from Rodrigo, one touch, bang. They're just showing the replay now. Then the second goal, I think that's the third. They're just showing Rodrigo's second goal now because he's going off. He's been a handful, to be honest. I've not known a lot about him, but he's on a great run of scoring, and he has been a handful with his back to goal, challenging for headers, and in terms of finishing as well. He'll get a bigger move than this if he continues to play like that. It'll be interesting to see whether he's more of a streaky striker or whether he can keep it going across a whole season. And now Raul Jimenez comes on to complete the Sky Sports script with a goal for him, probably.
Come on, make some changes, Ange.
No,
Oh, there
he
we
is
go.
now. So
Triple- wow.
Højbjerg's coming on, which will
Højbjerg,
upset people.
Bentancur and Werner. Oh, Tosin's in the box and a strike. Oh, my God, it's 4-0.
Palhinha.
I do think that there's a chance it's offside, but Paulinho, we're just being a shambles today.
Offside.
Oh, it is offside. It is offside. No goal.
Oh, the poor old commentator. He was loving that for a second there. But now it's been called back. VAR, of course.
It
will
looked,
get
it looked
involved.
offside to me. It did look offside because there was a Fulham defender right in front of Vicario. He's onside there, Tosin.
Yeah.
Oh, is he on? No, he's
No,
off.
he's right in front of Vicario.
I
hits him
I
as
think
well.
it hits him. Yeah, he's off. I think that's no goal.
I would have been interesting to see if
Yeah,
we
yeah,
would
it's
have been
offside.
interesting to see it at 4-0 down whether we bring Pierre-Emile Højbjerg on. Listen,
Looks offside
I'll say
to
this,
me.
and it's going to upset a lot of people, but I'm going to say this. When you get beat, in my opinion, when you get beaten by a team who are playing much better than you, I'm not nearly as frustrated as I am when we play really well and the other team have like parked the bus and we've done nothing. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I'm trying to find a way forward through this, but Fulham have played well. Spurs
Madison
haven't quite
off.
been on it
Madison. Why not bring the Celso on then?
because he doesn't want to lose 6, I think.
What? He's already damage control now.
There's a little bit of that, I think.
That's disappointing. And Sarr. Wait a minute. So what's he doing then?
So Højbjerg and Bentancur in replacing Madison and Sarr.
Oh, so Kulusevski's going in the 10.
I would have thought so.
Yeah, so Kulusevski's
Oh,
going in the
God,
10.
the
Johnson
commentators-
right.
The commentator's just embarrassed himself by saying Werner's on the dance floor. Imagine how long he's had that written on his page for.
So it looks like
3-0.
Johnson now on the right, Werner on the left, with Kulusevski, Bentancur and Højbjerg now in the centre.
25 minutes to go. You've got to say, Fulham just been absolutely emboldened by the way they've played. So they've just pressing and pressing and pressing.
They got the confidence and momentum with them completely.
And our legs look heavy as a result. And listen, this could easily end up 5-0. And, we're going to get all sorts of stick. But
his Porro. So disappointed. His Son flicks into Kulusevski on the right-hand side. Now Johnson on the right-hand side. Quickening up, wins a corner, wants a handball. Referee says no.
Never getting that.
Come on, get a quick goal from a corner or something, Oh, they're checking something.
We don't score from corners, so.
Entire midfield embarrassment, says Volk, 1979.
Power
Hard
with the corner,
disagree.
outswinger.
Come on. Force one home, flick on. It's flicked away from Bentancur. Here's Højbjerg to Werner on the left. He's got Son in support. He gives it to Kulusevski. Now Son can't manoeuvre a shot. Here's Højbjerg to Werner.
Got a few players in the box if he can get his cross in.
Timo Werner cuts inside. Forced back to Bentancur. His touch is loose, but he does well.
Sonny's in.
Gives it to Son. They want the flag.
He won it offside. I don't think he was.
Here's Son. Across the face. Johnson. Oh, what a miss! Oh!
Do you know what? He's made the right run. It's a classic Johnson run, but it's just a bit off the floor.
Oh,
I think that's
what
why
a
he doesn't.
miss.
That's why he doesn't get his side foot on it. It's just a yard off the floor, I think. He was onside, Son.
Oh, Johnson's missed an absolute sitter to get back in the game.
No, he was offside anyway.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah. He was off.
Dorido says Dragutin's spatial awareness is poor. Watch closely.
Well, this is Dragoshin's first Premier League game. And let's not forget, a lot of people in the comments in these watch-alongs, a lot of people on Twitter for a lot of months saying Dragoshin should play. They want to see their shiny new toy.
Leno.
It's not as simple as that. It takes time to acclimatise.
Come on. Kulu looking for Johnson. Doesn't get it through. Here he is again.
That was the wrong decision by Kulu, I think, there.
Here he is again.
Good
Kulu
strength,
keeps
though.
it, though. Give it to Johnson. He's free. Johnson in the box. Cuts it down. Oh! Bloody hell!
Werner has missed it from a yard out there. An unbelievable cross from Brennan Johnson, and Werner's managed to miss it from the back stick from only a yard. Tries to get his left foot on it, and it kind of skews off the 50p foot for a goal kick. Beautiful football from Decky, and he's onside.
Oh, Timo! Come on!
I'm sorry, he's got to score.
Oh, man!
It's another one that's just in the air. I don't know how he's missed that.
That's one for the compilations.
I don't know how he's missed that, to be honest.
Come on, Timo, man. That is an absolute howler.
When it's not your day, it's not your day. And
We could be back in this game.
It's not going to be our
We could
day.
be back in this. Come on. Let's get a bloody goal.
Lovely turn
That's
from
it,
Rodrigo Bentancur. Good stuff.
Here's
Timo,
Werner.
early chance to...
Come on, can't I make up for it, Timo, on the outside. And he
Does
has
well.
a shot and it's blocked.
Does well. I think he's more trying to whack that across the front, but it's just skewed off his foot a bit. But it's good to see him drive at the...
Subs have definitely changed the game. That's for sure.
Yeah, mixed with also, I think, Fulham probably just being like 3-0. Let's sit on it a little bit.
Oh, I tried to catch him out, actually, didn't he? Yeah, he did try and catch him out. All right.
Porro with the corner.
Porro's corner. Dragoshin's header away from Bassi. Bentancur.
Oh, unlucky. Yeah, Werner's got a score there. I'm sorry.
It's a horrific miss. Absolutely
It's almost
horrific.
like he's just kind of lightly dabbed his foot at it rather than being strongly knowing you can just tap it in with his left foot. It's ugly. It's ugly. It's up there with Haaland's miss the other week, to be honest. It's a Ronnie Rosenthal for the older viewers amongst you.
It's one of those. It's one of those that Werner gets clowned on by for.
I mean, it's just...
Oh, nice play from Kulusevski. Come on, play quickly.
Yeah, he's done
He's
well.
a
Family
doggy.
doggy.
He's in space. He's got men in the box. He passes it, looking for Werner.
Werner's made
tries
the wrong
to
choice
twist.
there.
That's it. Press. Here's Højbjerg. Come on. Keep going. The doggy.
Oh, it's a
Now
terrible
Werner.
doggy.
I'll tell you, we get a goal soon. We're back in this. Bentancur's shot. Saved.
Not a percentage play there. It's a shot on
save.
target. Good little passage of play from Spurs there, though. last 5 minutes or so.
Well, definitely upped our energy. I don't know what was going on with Basuma and Saar, but they
foul.
were just not on it today.
No.
Foul by Dragushin.
Don't forget, guys, we have a instant match reaction after this, and then the post-game phone-in show where you guys can call in and speak to us. All the details will be in the chat and the description box as to how to do that. I did say last week to Alex, what was his name, Mr. Box Office.
Yeah.
I said, call in if we lose, because then you'll have the right to say the stuff you were saying last week. So now's your time, Alex. Because today, all the stuff that you said last week applies, whereas last week I didn't feel it did. Harry Wilson comes on. He's a good player. 20 minutes to go. Plus, there'll be at least 5 minutes added, I would have thought.
Long ball forward. Romero heads it to Porro. He's going to pass it to Højbjerg.
Oh, wow.
And he's just about gets it back to Dragushin. Nice play from him, actually. Confident outplay of Doggy to Son. Takes it away from Bassi. Good ball out wide. Here's Bentancur. Son.
Fulham, though, working
Don't
compared
give up,
to Aston Villa
Tottenham.
last week. Fulham are off the
give
ball,
up.
working so much harder.
Come on. Keep going, Spurs. If we're going to go down fighting. Try and get back in the game. Here's Johnson to Porro. Looking for Kulu and away. Bentancur. Johnson. Nice play.
Spurs.
Højbjerg. Johnson. Oh, looking for
unlucky.
Højbjerg.
Nice idea, but it's Højbjerg, so that's not the player to do it to, but nice idea. Fulham have been excellent.
Yeah.
Must be frustrating being a Fulham fan when you see performances like this against Brighton, Arsenal, and then lose some games you're supposed to win. But it's classic Premier League. It really is. There's an element of when you're the big underdog, you put in a huge shift, and then when you're suddenly expected to win, you're not sure exactly how to go about it all the time. But
they do seem to up their game when some against some of the better teams. Here's Vicario. Timo would have scored that, man. I'm telling you, we're back in this game.
Yeah. But he didn't.
No.
He didn't. And unfortunately,
frustrating.
Big Ange just said this week, he was asked, will you be keeping Werner? And he said it's too soon to say. And unfortunately for Werner, he's literally on a 6-month contract, really. Trying to find a way to get a sign for the club, and stuff like that will not help.
Romero to Bentancur. It's a pass loose. Paulinho has just been everywhere today, and it's a good ball to Iwobi, and it's a good play again. It's Willian, but Romero comes in and wins the ball back. Now Brennan Johnson.
Terrible
Not a good ball, man. Come on.
Spurs. If Spurs are looking for a 6, if Højbjerg goes, is Paulinho on the list? Too expensive for what we're looking for?
Probably too expensive, but I'd love him. I think he's brilliant.
Yeah.
Not only is he too expensive, he's also like 28, so he's not the right age as well.
Yeah. Where was he before Fulham? Was he Benfica?
He was at Sporting, I believe.
Sporting, yeah.
Here is Willian.
Well, he's ruined us in both the games at Craven Cottage this year. Paulinho.
Yeah. Been brilliant. Cross in the box by Robinson, cleared away, and it's going to be a throw into Fulham.
Yeah, Højbjerg's just having a go at us for not stopping the cross. He's having a go at Porro, and it is a problem for Spurs. They allow crosses in too easily. 20 minutes to go. It's ugly. It's a weekend ruiner.
It is. This is one of those where it's just... Oh...
It's going to be
It's one of those, just hard to explain how it's been this bad for... I got to this stage with 3-0 down.
Højbjerg on the ball.
Come on.
Bentancur and Kulusevski trying
try
to give him
again.
options.
Here's
Lots
Werner.
of space out to Werner here on the left. He's
Go
going to
on the
drive.
outside. Go on the
Castagna.
outside.
Cut back, is he?
There we go. Cut it back. And away
That's
from
good ball.
Tosin. Nice play from Bentancur. Keeps it. Here's Højbjerg.
Why do you think he took Maddison off? Think he's a step off it?
Well, Maddison apparently was had a bit of a knock in the midweek as well, so he wasn't guaranteed to make it. Maybe he's a bit tired. Apparently, he had to be managed during the midweek. I read.
The only reason he's brought Højbjerg on, because otherwise, if it wasn't to try and stop us from getting done 6, then he would have brought Lo Celso on, surely.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So maybe if there was only 1 goal in it, that's what he would have done. But
Jory says, if you can't tweak your tactics to the opposition or to our own form, you won't get anywhere in the Premier League. Even the best squads need to tweak. Strike 2 for Ange. Strike 2. What was strike 1, Jory? Was it the Brighton game? I don't know.
strike 2. Well, in baseball, you literally only get 3 strikes. So what you're saying is
One more
bad result, and if you were the chairman, you would sack him. And then who would you get? Graham Potter.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far. Or maybe saying strike 1 was the cup exit. I don't know.
That's well played.
Calm says you're 3 down and no urgency at all. I don't agree with that. I think we have shown some urgency since going 3 down, but that's too late, isn't it?
Listen, I think today Fulham are better than us. Quite simple. Listen, I think that not tweaking your tactics thing it's a bit on the nose. It's like we had a couple of really gilt-edged chances first half. We go 1-0 up, then no one's saying that. So it's football is a game of moments, And today Fulham have been incredibly clinical. The second goal was borderline lucky because it just flicks off his knee. The first goal was just absolutely brilliant. And Spurs, when they had those chances, weren't clinical. And then the way they've reacted to the going 2 down,
Yeah, it was terrible.
Not been great.
And yeah, I think Basuma and Sarr was, for some reason, they were just completely off it today. Completely off it. Jory says strike 1 was the Carabao Cup exit.
Blimey. First strike for a manager
Fulham.
after
So
2
both
games.
have been Fulham. Højbjerg, come on, Porro, can you get stuck in?
No sign of Rishi yet, which makes me wonder if maybe he's not fully fit. Big result for Aston Villa, who go to the London Stadium tomorrow. And, of course, West Ham, a very bizarre club.
Yeah.
Very up and down. Beat Freiburg 5-0 in the week. Maybe that'll give them some confidence, but they will be tired, of course. But Villa obviously played Ajax too, so...
All right,
I have to say it's in keeping with not just with Spurs, but in terms of when you're still in your first season with a club
comes over
and you're trying to show the players how to do it, and not all the players are the kind of players who fit the attributes that you need. Then it's one step forward, 2 steps back sometimes.
There we go. Nice play from Bentancur. Here's Kulusevski to Son. Turns well. Can he find Kulu? Oh, he gets...
It's well defended.
It's just Paulinho. He's absolutely everywhere, Paulinho.
How has he given that to them? How has he given that to them, by the way?
Don't know.
Son got his body in the way and then just was totally barged over.
Paulinho, we just can't get away from him.
What's he given then? Is he given a throw into Fulham? I'm really not sure.
Yellow card for Brennan.
What was that for? Just for dissent, maybe?
Yeah, dissent. Nearly into the last 10 minutes here. Still 3-0.
We've played into Fulham's hands since the 3rd goal, really.
Oh, here's Richie.
Yeah, Richarlison now coming on.
Guessing what for Son?
Lo Celso's not getting a kick at the moment, is he?
Guess Son's going off. No, Brennan.
Yeah.
So Werner on the right, Son on the left. Another switch. Son is going to go out wide for the final 10 minutes. Wouldn't mind a Richarlison hat-trick in right now. Be all right.
Well, only one club that I know of were 3-0 up after 82 minutes and managed to find a way not to win the game, and that's Tottenham Hotspur. So
Kulusevski, the switch of play, looking for Werner. Well, actually, Werner's remained on the left.
I mean, that was a terrible touch from Werner.
Trying to work out. I think we've gone 4-4-2, have we? I think we've gone 4-4-2.
Just can't let that bounce.
Oh, doggy.
Why would you ever let that bounce?
Oh, Højbjerg's lost it. Dragoshin, is that a foul? Referee says no, but they're just second to everything.
Yeah, we have been second to everything this pretty much the whole game, to be honest. Apart from maybe the 15, 20 minutes in the middle of the first half. But the second half has just been completely one-way traffic.
Come on, Kulu, get over. So it's like Kulu's gone over to the right now and it's 4-4-2. Here's Robinson. Romero comes over, loses it to Robinson. Come on, win it back.
He's going to get the man of the match, I think, Robinson. Oh, no, of course, it'll go to the striker, won't it?
Muniz. Well, unless we see one of the best comebacks of all time, it's going to be a very, very poor defeat here today. Triple sub for Fulham.
Iwobi's played one of the best games I've seen him play, to be honest. I just think he's so poor.
Then bring on a new right back as well.
I think it's fair to say Bassi has kind of exercised the demons from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. He's had a good game as well.
He has.
Luton at home next.
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you this. Last week I was very positive going into thinking about those April games. But if we play like this against any of those teams in April, we'll get absolutely...
It's just gone so wrong today. So wrong. I know Fulham are a good team, but how we've performed in the second half has really shocked me.
Yeah.
First half, I don't think we were that bad, actually. But second half was just...
How do you think Ange will react in the press?
I don't think he'll go overboard knowing him, but...
That sums it up, doesn't it? Because he could have just...
Cario just swiping out
Cario came
play.
out of his box, and I think he could have backed off and let it come into his box, but in the end he tries to left foot volley it and it just skews off his foot into the crowd. I think this has been our worst performance of the season, you know. Apart from maybe that 15-minute spell.
I would say first half against Brighton we were worse, yeah. That first half against Brighton we were absolutely horrific. It's almost like
you know, Brighton have done it to a lot of teams, and I know Fulham have had some good results, but...
Oh, yeah, going to international break after this game.
Again, just like after Wolves, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was 2 weeks off after Wolves.
Come on, Højbjerg.
It's a good ball
in behind is Rishi. Cuts inside. Oh, it's blocked. And he's offside anyway. Great.
Good defending.
Absolutely fantastic.
It was Palhinha again.
Bloody Palhinha. I hate him so much. He's so good. Pisses me off. Just can't get away from him. He's absolutely everywhere.
Yeah. It's just, it seems like it's more his positioning than anything, because he's not like blessed with huge pace.
No, he's just so aggressive. He's
got a hint of the Rodri about him, hasn't he? Similar body shape. Good defensive midfielder. This is why Sky Sports pick games like this.
Jory said, this is the norm in terms of performance, apart from the second half against Palace and the Villa. The rest has been outmatched tactically. The players are struggling to find solutions. World-class coaching, but MGMT is not good. What do you mean MGMT?
Management.
Oh, management. I mean, I don't know if this has been the... I don't know if that's fair to say this has been the norm.
No, completely. Especially not...
Oh, giving it away to Paulinho.
They've got 4-on-3 here. No, that's
is that foul by Bentancur? If says no, he's just there every time.
He's not there now, though, so we could make the most of it, or are we going to slow it down?
Yeah. Here's Kulu.
Haven't made a single chance second half, have we? Oh, of course, Werner's missed.
Yeah, Werner's missed.
Yeah.
Porro, Højbjerg's giving it away. Come on.
Oh,
as well.
Højbjerg's actually done really well since he's come on.
That was all right. Porro with the free kick. There goes the 39-game scoring record. Come on, we need to get a goal. Yeah, we need to score. Come on,
forgotten about that.
Guys.
Yeah, people have been loving that stat.
Kulusevski tries a back heel and
misses it. Goes out of the pitch.
Oh. Villa game was a fluke, guys. Says TJR. Don't think it was a fluke. This is a fluke. Come on, Bentancur, get on the end of that. Come on, turn.
Good stuff.
Come on, Kulusevski.
Put him in.
And
He's
Son's
not
on the
put
right
enough on
side.
it. He didn't put enough on the pass.
Is that a foul?
Kulusevski, was it with the pass? It wasn't enough on it, and it meant Son didn't have a free run in. He was in on the right-hand side there, to be honest. I think we might have scored there if Decky had just managed to put a little bit more on the pass.
Dragoshin has it.
That's
and now Udogi. Here's Bentancur to Højbjerg. Werner on the left-hand side. Go on, Timo.
Help him. Help him.
Where are the options? Porro. Bentancur. Højbjerg in behind, looking for Kulusevski's good ball. Kulusevski flicks it in and a shot. Oh! What
Comes
a
to
chance!
Rishi on the half volley and he just hits it wide. Very similar to the first game against Fulham at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium when a ball came across to Richarlison on the right, on his right foot, and he tried to slot it in that first game. This time he puts his laces through it, but both of them miss the target by inches.
What a great chance. Great play from Kulusevski.
Yeah.
And there's Richarlison. He's got to bury that.
Sonny coming off now. Gio.
Yeah. That's admitting defeat if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, it's a bad day at the office. Do you know what I hate more than bad days at the office is when you have to watch a game where Spurs lose and Alan Smith is on co-commentary.
Oh, yeah, I know, because he's just so against Spurs all the time. He loves rubbing it in on Spurs.
He just has this drawly delight about it whenever Spurs lose. Like pity voice.
Porro under control is the Celso.
Nice idea, but
Romero back to Dragoshin. Now Højbjerg.
this is why Ange doesn't get too high when we win or too low when we lose, because
Goes long,
these
looking for
games are still going to
Kulu.
happen this season. Like he'll say, this season is about making sure this stuff doesn't happen next season.
Porro.
Oh, that's terrible.
It's been completely off day today. A complete off day.
Yeah. I've just remembered how hard those 2 weeks were after we lost at home to Wolves.
I know, it's going to be just 2 weeks of mulling over this bloody result.
Yeah.
Been so bad. Second half, it's been... How many shots we had in the second half? Second half.
Also bad for the goal difference as well, you know.
Actually says we've had more chances in them. But...
Well,
yeah, because that Werner miss was quite high,
yeah,
XG,
we've had
that's
a few
why.
in the last 10 minutes, but
Here's Romero. Bentancur now. Romero again. Kulusevski. Not getting any joy today. Porro. 7 minutes added on. Get one before stoppage time.
yeah,
Never know.
that
but
would be in the next 30 seconds.
yeah.
But Fulham have got men through.
Oh, here we
They're
go.
in.
Wilson, strong goal. This could be 4 here. Wilson. Oh, it's a good strike. Vicario forced into a good save.
That's the first
Werner.
example I've seen where
Yeah,
actually
Dragoshin, yeah, was...
he just where all I was going to say is actually where Van der Ven's pace would have seen him get closer to the shot. But
Porro goes long. It's actually a decent ball. Looking for Richarlison's great
Oh, what a
ball.
touch.
Great touch and Richarlison's shot.
surely then he's got to cut back on his right. He did the hard part almost. Then he cuts back and it opens up another chance. What a pass! Is that Paulinho?
No, it's Jimenez, that. Oh. Kulusevski now.
Well done.
Beats Robinson to it. Does really well here,
Use your
Kulusevski.
strength.
Very well. Get the pass off. Romero wins it back. Does he know? D. Cordova-Reid wins the foul. Free kick to Fulham.
This is a kind of game where it shows that you can't just live with football via stats, because some of those stats will say, "Oh, Spurs has expected goals." But Spurs have not been in this game at all. You know, it's completely one way. And sometimes
comfortable.
You know, basically stats don't really show mentality, really. I don't think, and momentum and stuff like that. But Spurs. Oh, that's a shame.
Putting a nice move together there. Lo Celso's passed to a doggy.
Oh,
Get in there, Destiny. That's your ball.
He pulled out there of a 50-50.
Bottled that. He absolutely bottled that. Here
Now
come
Fulham.
Robinson. D. Cordova-Reid. Oh, he dances through Romero. And his shot is blocked and Tottenham come away with it. Here's Højbjerg. Go on, play early to Werner. Here is Timo. Going to take on Reid.
Decky's at the got to get in.
He's got Lo Celso on the edge. Cuts inside. Werner. Oh. Over the bar. Aston Villa will be licking their lips with this game. Goal kick to Fulham. 5 minutes of stoppage time to go here. Just such a difference from last week in terms of how we've been in front of goal today.
Horrible.
Such a difference. Last week was so clinical.
Yeah.
The finishing was brilliant, but today it's been a completely different story.
Just a horrible performance.
Oh, lost it to the header again is Jimenez. And now Willian
Wilson's in there.
cuts inside. Willian still has it. He's in the box, goes on the outside. Keeps possession well. Robinson. Paulinho has good football. Robinson on the outside. Is he going to whip it in? He's going to just keep the ball, is he?
And they're olaying
And
us
now
here.
Wilson. And he wins a corner, does he? No, Vicario
does
keeps
great.
it in.
He's had a great game, Vicario.
He has. With Doggy. Players just look like they want this game to end. Rishi. Gone into Bentancur. Here's Højbjerg.
And the Fulham fans singing, "Can we play you every week?"
Here's Bentancur. Looking for support. No one on that right channel. Lo Celso now. Porro. Oh, he slips. Bentancur now. Dragoshin. Lo Celso. Come on, let's get one goal. Come on, let's get one
Sharp
goal.
introduction to the
Lo
Premier League. for
Celso,
Dragoshin.
does he go for goal? He doesn't.
He shouldn't. It's underneath his feet. He's got no chance of beating
power.
the keeper from there. That's just selfish, I'm afraid.
Not even sure what's going in.
Do you think Lo Celso will still be at the club next season?
I don't. I think we're selling him in the summer. Especially because he's got 1 year left, and I just don't think he's going to sign a new deal.
I think we'd only get about 10 for him now, you know. Don't you?
Yeah, but it's between that or nothing, essentially.
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, Bentancur.
just got himself into a dangerous position there, tackle-wise.
His destiny
I
to
think
Højbjerg.
what Fulham have done really well is completely nullify our fullbacks today. They've not been, neither of them been in the game at all, and there's
Come
been
on.
so much space behind
Consolation, maybe. Werner on the left-hand side. Timo. Here's Lo Celso crossing the box. Away by Tosin.
them. Try and keep it away from the
Come on, consolation.
centre-half guys.
Consolation, come on. Keep the run going. Werner. Can't do it. Destiny. Back to Lo Celso. Here's Højbjerg. And Lo Celso again looking for Richarlison.
Oh,
Can't
Tosin's
get there.
had a good game.
Tosin. Porro offside against Richarlison. And that should be that, really.
Bit of a lesson for Spurs here. Something to learn from. If they think maybe they came away from that game at Villa thinking that they were better than they were.
Yeah.
Bentancur's got himself in a scrap with Harrison Reed and an unnecessary booking for him with 1.5 minutes to go of a game where you're 3-0 down. To get a booking is just bizarre. Bentancur, stop talking.
Right, he's been booked, is he?
This is 4th. When's the cut-off point for 5? When does 5 become 10?
I think after 19 games, I believe.
Okay, so it's gone. Good. Way gone. Oh, and what's happening here? Oh, I thought the ref was going to book Højbjerg there.
Silva is schooling Ange tactically. If you don't see it, you don't see the tactics in play. Players see it and lose faith.
Which players are losing faith?
I think we've kept going. You know what I mean? We keep trying to get in the game. I don't know.
Listen, we've kept going, but we've been about at least 5% off them all game in terms of the intensity. I'd say maybe I'd even argue maybe even the desire. Maybe just and it's percentages in this game, and maybe they came there thinking it would be easy because they beat Villa 4-0, and suddenly they've got a team who are absolutely up for it, and that's it.
Offside.
Offside, is it? Okay. You should get yellow carded for that. 10 seconds. Stay with us for the instant match reaction, guys.
Yeah, that'll be on straight after the final whistle.
I think just put us out of our misery now, ref, to be honest.
And that
he does.
Is that. Full time at Craven Cottage. Oh, man. All right. That was an absolute disaster. Let's get into the instant match reaction. What is going on, people? We are Tottenham TV here. Spurs have been beaten 3-0 at Craven Cottage against Fulham in what has been a very, very disappointing, depressing performance and result. Joining me today to discuss the game is Barnaby Slater from the Spurred On podcast. And the game started, Spurs were on the back foot for the first 15 minutes, and luckily for us, we didn't concede in that moment. We looked like in that first half we were getting back in the game. We had a few chances of our own. We didn't take advantage of it. And then pretty much ever since that goal went in, from 5 minutes to go into the first half, Muniz gets on the score sheet with a really nice finish. And we kind of just completely lost control in that game. And the way we were outplayed in that second half has got to be a bit worrying. But how do you analyse that kind of performance?
Do you know what? I was just thinking while you were talking there that it's pretty common in the Premier League that whoever starts the game with the most intensity and the most desire goes on to win that game. And that's exactly what happened today. Yeah, for sure. After 15 minutes, we kind of rode out the storm. And then we had a good spell from about 15 minutes to about half an hour, 35 minutes. And Sonny had a great chance. Johnson had a good chance. We were really hitting them hard on the transition from winning the ball up high. But I said it earlier in the game, if you don't score when you're at your best, it will come back to bite you. And this time I just think Fulham started the game with more desire. I think a lot of fans would agree that it seemed like their players wanted it a bit more, and there was just felt to me like about 5% difference in terms of the intensity in the legs and the willingness that they were able to press with. And sure, that can change when a team scores a goal. Of course it can, and they get their heads up. And if you don't then score an equaliser and you go 2 and 3-0 down, it becomes incredibly difficult. And that's what happened to Spurs. But it's a lesson today. It's a lesson we're going to have to learn from. It feels like a bit of a commonality with Spurs. 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Great result at Villa. Everyone talking about it being the most important game of the season. John McGinn talking about it being the most important game in Aston Villa's modern league history. We go there, win 4-0. Everyone expects we're going to go to Craven Cottage and turn them over easily. Sky put it on TV. They want Fulham, the underdogs, to win. Night game. The fans are up for it. And Fulham got that first goal, and then we did. We kind of collapsed like a deck of cards. I can't think of really, other than Vicario, I can't think of any performance better than a 5 out of 10 really today. Yeah. The fullbacks were completely anonymous. Fulham just knew that there was space in the inside right and the inside left channel over and over and over again. Both of the first 2 goals came from that. We never recovered. We didn't change much. We had a few chances in that second half. Timo Werner should have scored. It strikes me again with Timo, unfortunately, if there's any situation where he has to think about it at all, and I even mean in this, like the second that he had to think about it while the ball comes across, he's thinking, don't mess this up, don't mess this up. And because he's thinking like that, he messes it up. Whereas the goal last week that he scored just felt to me a bit like instinct straight away. But anyway, it's not Timo Werner's fault. It's the collective team's fault. They weren't at the races today. It happens. It's a shame we've got 2 weeks to think about it, but we move on.
Yeah, and it's just one of those games where where everyone is having an off day, and it's so rare that we've had that this season. I feel that this is probably one of the first times this season where I look at us and we were very, very easy to play against, especially in that second half. I thought first half was a bit more of an even game, and I did feel like it was quite even. And I know we went in 1-0 down, but we had chances, they had chances. I thought we were doing really well in terms of winning the ball back in their defensive third. They were doing really well winning the ball back in the middle of the park, and it was kind of who was going to get the opening goal. And obviously Fulham did get it, but the way we came out in that second half, it's hard to put your finger on why we came out in that kind of manner, because we should have expected a fast start like we did in the first half with Fulham coming flying out the traps and creating all those chances. And it's one of the first times this season, it hasn't happened too often, but it's one of the first times where we've been so clearly out-tacticked, I feel, and it was just like an easy game for the opposition. I just felt like we barely laid a glove on them in that second half, and they were just finding very easy overloads on the wide areas. Robinson and Castagna, or whoever was playing in the fullbacks at any given time, were just finding acres of space, and it was so easy for them to get in behind us. And they were just feeding them every time, chance after chance. Set pieces, we looked weak. We looked like we could concede from many set pieces. In fact, we could have conceded another one. We could have conceded a fourth one.
There was a goal disallowed,
but that was disallowed for offside. And we were just really, it was way too easy to play against. Then going forward, look, to be fair, after we went 3-0 down, we did have like a flurry of chances, didn't we, where we could have got back in the game. If one of them goes in, you never know what could have happened at that point with maybe like 25 minutes to go. But we did miss those chances. And for the last 15 minutes or so, we looked toothless. We didn't look like ever hurting this Fulham side. And that's like very, very disappointing. I wouldn't say concerning, but very disappointing. I do think in the long run, these will be experiences we learn from and we can build off, and Andrew point to say this is, why this happened. He'll analyse it and go into it. But one of the most curious things today is just how Basuma and Sarr and Maddison, I just think our midfield was completely overrun. They couldn't deal with Fulham's midfield. And I have to say, João Palhinha, probably for me, man of the match. I thought he was exceptional. We couldn't handle him. And it's rare that you just can't handle a midfielder from a defensive point of view. Yeah. And he's just everywhere, covering every blade of grass. Every time we went forward, he seemed to be just there every time, stopping us. And he was a real example of the aggression and that intensity that you need in central midfield in this league.
Yeah, so interesting that just at the end there you said aggression, because what I was thinking is the one thing that is lacking from Tottenham's three in midfield there is physicality. And if you look at Palhinha, he brings a physicality that we don't have. If you look at Rodri at Man City, he brings a physicality we don't have. Now, I like Basuma. He didn't have a great game today. I like him. I love how he takes the ball on the half turn. But when you're facing somebody in the opposition midfield who does put their foot in every time and does tell you that he's there every time, and as well is brilliant positionally, then yeah, it did seem like we were a little bit overrun. I mean, talking about, you mentioned there, why we were unable to start well in the second half or whatever. The reality is, and I mentioned it in the watch along, the game is about moments, and they were more clinical. And the two worst times to score, arguably, just before half-time, just after half-time, killed us, absolutely killed us. And I think the players didn't, for the first time maybe this season, because even in that Brighton game where we were 4-0 down, we still managed to, score a couple of goals and really put the pressure on them. But for the first time, we just looked devoid of ideas, an inability to change anything up. Yeah, I agree with you. If Werner, you mentioned earlier, if Werner had maybe scored that goal, then maybe momentum changes a bit. Maybe they get a little bit frightened, and Fulham get a little bit worried and sit back a bit more. But they were just popping it around second half. They really made us look very average and playing around like Brazil at times. The fans were olaying it and we couldn't get near them. And yeah, I agree with you. It's not concerning long term for me, but I think Ange, he'll make the players watch that in a debrief. And I think He'll be just like, you've got to ask yourself, are you willing? You've got to be willing to put in the same effort at 3-0 as you did at 0-0. And if you don't, I'll find players who will.
Obviously, a large part of the narrative today will be Dragoshin's first start, no Van de Ven, and obviously we end up losing 3-0. For me personally, I actually thought, like, in terms of our team in general, he was probably one of our better players in general. Obviously, I don't think he had a great game, especially in that second half. I did think he was having a really good first half performance, and albeit there were some loose passes from him that went straight out of play. But what did you take out of his first start for Spurs?
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think what it really does do, not that this needed to happen, but the stock rises of Mickey Van de Ven once again, because the record of Spurs while he's been on the pitch, I think, is pretty unbelievable. And I think there are things that Mickey Van de Ven does away from the obvious things that maybe we missed today. But the obvious things are, of course, anything that goes over him behind, even if it bounces, he generally gets back and wins. Whereas there's probably things where he's more on the front foot, blocking some of the passes coming into the strikers and coming into the forward line that maybe we missed a bit today. But no, I think, like, specifically, do I think Dragoshin had a bad game? No, I don't. I don't actually blame him for any of those goals. But, to all of those people who have been in the comments week after week and on Twitter week after week, Dragoshin should play just because he's a new signing. He needs time to acclimatise. It's an outlier rather than a rule or a commonality that Mickey Van de Ven has been so good straight away coming into the Premier League. Not many foreign players settle in the way he has, and we're going to have to give Dragoshin time, and we should take it as feeling lucky that we have two centre-halves that are so good as Romero and Van de Ven that when they're fit, we're able to play them, because, yes, I think we are a better team with them as the two centre-halves, because they are able to cover far more successfully the marauding fullbacks, because today there was so much space in that inside right and inside left channel that it was kind of embarrassing at times.
It was.
Like that second goal, the cross that comes in, yes, it flies in off his thigh, but the time, they had that time to play that cross across the front of the box over and over and over again.
Yeah, and like the third goal, like Bassi has time to take a touch, turn in the penalty area, get a shot off, and then Dragoshin unfortunately didn't react quick enough to Muniz, and obviously he was able to tap it home.
Sorry to interrupt. Can I say about that, actually? I think this is one area where I would question Ange a little bit. He's made a bit of a rod for his own back by saying, I have no interest in employing specific set-piece coaches, because it's one thing saying that if you're good at it, if you're good at defending set pieces and you're scoring lots of goals from corners and free kicks, sure, then I can understand it. But unfortunately, it's a rod for your own back if stuff like that happens, where we lose the first header again, which we do all the time, although I would say Dragoshin in the first half improved us a lot in terms of clearing the first header from corners. But we lost it this time, and then unfortunately from that first header, where they are told to push out, Romero just dropped a bit deep, and that kept Bassi on, and then to allow Bassi, who's basically a tugboat, to turn and get a shot off that hits the post. And then, Dragoshin is behind him and ends up nearly giving away a penalty, but it goes in anyway. So, yeah, sorry to interrupt there, but I just wanted to say I think Ange has to be careful, because for me, he's a progressive football coach, but it's a little bit backward to say, I'm not interested in specific set-piece coaches, particularly when you look at the fact that Liverpool have succeeded but they've had a throw-in coach, not only a set-piece coach, but a throw-in coach, a set-piece coach. And obviously we had a lot of success last season with Vio in our attacking set-pieces, and he let him go, and we've not looked great this season on that front.
Look, bigger picture stuff now. So after that big win against Villa last week, everyone was getting excited about really pushing for that top four. Obviously, we'll await Aston Villa's result tomorrow, where they go away at West Ham. But that kind of result and performance, does that change any of your thinking when it comes to Spurs getting into that top four?
No. But also the way it doesn't change my thinking is that we are in a far better position than I expected us to be. We are having far fewer of these kind of results than I expected us to have at this stage. Ange is still getting to know them, and these results are going to happen. It tends to happen in the games where we're like, we've just done really well. We've got a chance to go on a good run, got a chance to really show what we can do, and then suddenly it comes back to bite us. I still think we'll finish above Aston Villa. I don't think Manchester United are good enough to put together the kind of run they would need to finish above Spurs and Aston Villa. And after this week's European results, it looks like fifth is pretty much nailed on for being Champions League anyway. So I think we'll still get in the Champions League. And that, for me, is far further ahead in the project than I expected. That will put pressure on us, though, if it happens to really put more depth in this squad and to allow Ange to get the players in with the attributes that he wants. He came out only a week or two ago saying, you know, he doesn't want to spend 100 million on one player. Well, that'll suit Daniel Levy because he won't want him to either. He says he's more comfortable spending £50 million on 2 players. Well, I think if we're in the Champions League next season, actually having a bigger depth at 50 million kind of level players will suit us better. But I also do think we need to buy a kind of special player who can do something a little bit out of the ordinary when we need that.
Yeah, I kind of agree. And I think in terms of the top 4 race, I'm still confident, even after a result like that we can finish above Villa. The performance does kind of worry me, I have to say, a bit, just because of how it was the first time, I believe, this season where for the whole game we've looked fairly easy to play against. And that is a bit of a concern, because in every game, even in games we've lost, we've looked difficult to play against. But today we looked very average, and that was pretty concerning. But I just hope that the 2-week break, we can just mull over what happened and come into the, after international break with fresh energy. We've got Luton at home. Then I think we go away at West Ham, and then maybe at home to Forest, I think. So got some games there to really lay the gauntlet down and try and put some more pressure in Villa. And it's a bad day at the office. No one can deny that. We were shocking today, and it was really surprising how bad we were, considering what a great result and a confidence boost last week should have been. So to put that kind of performance in this week was really not just terribly frustrating, but it was just really surprising. Didn't expect that after last week. So that is got to be something that Andrew's got to think about. But I still think we're on the right path, and I think even today, if things could have gone a different way, if certain things would have changed, Maddison, or if we would have gone 1-0 up in that first half instead of 1-0 down, if Werner maybe scored at that chance, maybe things would have turned out differently. It was just one of those where everything went against us. Everything went against us.
It did, and I'll just say one more thing, which is I just think we're not ready to go to Villa and Fulham 2 games in a row and turn them both over easily. We're not ready. We're not at that stage, and we proved it today. And it might end up being, I'm pretty glass half full. It might end up being one of the best things that happens to us, because they clearly came into the game today thinking, we just turned over Villa 4-0 away. We're going to turn these over easy, and they got their asses spanked, frankly.
All right, well, that is it for your post-match, instant match reaction. If you're liking what Barnaby has got to say, go and check him out on the Spurred On podcast. His link is in the title of this video, so go check him out. But we are going to get into the post-match fan show, so we are going to be posting the link in the community section if you want to come and join the show and have your say on today's terrible 3-0 defeat to Fulham. So make sure you do go over to the community section and find the link and come join us on the show. But that is all for the watch along. Appreciate everyone for joining in on the chat and being with us for all that. Well, look for a depressing game, but appreciate it. Makes it easier when we're watching with 2,000 fellow Spurs fans. Does make it that bit easier. But we'll see you very, very soon for that post-match fan show. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.